This video contains information that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are a viewer and are triggered or shocked by images and need a warning prior to every clip or story being discussed, then please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. My channel covers the harsh reality of even the worst crimes imaginable and is for adults only. For those of you who fit into this category, take this message as your warning and don't watch any further. Yo! How's it going? Yeah, I was just going to do some updates on, what was that case here in Oregon? Fauna Frey. Somebody sent it to me and then I looked it up. I was trying to get a hold of a family member. I have the line open, you know, on the next screen, where if you're somebody that knows something, you can call over. Call in, let us know what's going on there. What's good stuff? I haven't even started yet. An ad popped up on my video? Yeah, it won't mean a damn thing. Yeah, there won't be anything. It doesn't mean anything for me. Like I always tell you guys, you're basically the membership and super chats. You know, it's really the income for YouTube. That's it. There isn't any, you know, just like Kit Kat just did right there. Yeah, Moolah Monday. I don't know. It's been a rough month so far, unfortunately. Kind of took a little downturn last month, and this month is tracking right on with that one. But thanks, Kit Kat!
Moolah Mondays, cow winking face smile cow.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing a new missing persons case. It's actually she's been missing since June, but I just heard about it just now. I seem to hear about the national ones more. Hey, thanks Kubi and Alley Cake and Zozo. Yeah. It was weird too, because my best months I ever had were during the pandemic, the first 3 months of it. So yeah, I see what you're saying, but it's kind of weird how
Monday.
It went worse later, you know. Thank you, Jana Bell. Very cool, thank you. Yeah, it was weird. The March, April, May, and June. And hell, even July were the best months I ever had on the channel. And then it was like, as soon as I got my neck thing, it's sort of weird how it went sort of downhill. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but crazy timing. Hey, wow, thanks. Lee D, Fiber Sleuth, and Crystal Ann. Very cool, very cool. Alright, so I'm going to do Fauna Frey here, talk about that one. It's a little bit confusing because I watched an entire interview with the father and a good friend. She's had some pretty bad luck too, you know. It could be that she was really just depressed and took off and did something to herself in this case. Oh, really? Wow, crazy. All right. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's not a big deal, everybody. It's just
I can help a little.
we were on that good
little
roll
engine
donating
that could.
at the end of the month. So, but hey, we've already, you know, my goal for this year was $10,000, and then now we're already at 13,500 donations. So we're way above that, and I was still hoping to get to 20. We'll see. We could be able to sneak it in there. But that was the goal. So we're way ahead of what the original goal was. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right. Let me get started on this. So there's a number for anybody who wants to call in later on the Fauna Frey, but we're going to do the update on the. I was thinking of even talking about your case in Cairo's neck of the woods. Just bring it up so that if he goes out there tomorrow, checks it out, then we'll at least know a little bit about it. Because there was an article on it. Hey, thanks Jen H. and Liz Parsons. Okay, so you guys remember this case that we talked about a while ago? I don't know if there's much new in it, but it seems to have a little bit more detail in it. But you guys remember this, right? Where the car was just buried in Colorado and the car was from New Mexico. Yeah. Authorities have seemingly reached a dead end into an investigation of an abandoned car that was found buried under a massive pile of debris in a remote mountainous area outside of Pagosa Springs, with its owner missing. I mean, it's sort of an interesting thing because the owner's missing, and then you've got a car that somebody was trying to cover with branches and seemingly trying to set up in a bonfire and burn it. He's nowhere to be found, said Mineral County Sheriff Fred Hasselkus. It's kind of weird. Hey, that's something we say all the time. It's weird. On August 13th, a passerby spotted a part of a silver 2014 Toyota Camry with New Mexico plates sticking out through a massive debris pile located up West Fork Road, about 15 miles north of Pagosa Springs. Got to open up my Google Earth now. I think it's really crazy that there's a car buried. I mean, it seems like somebody's trying to hide forensically whatever was going on, like that case we just had a couple weeks ago, or last week. But at the same time, why would you bury it right there where people can just kind of drive by and see it? Buried underneath branches, and then even if you had set it on fire, people would have seen it in like 2 seconds. Yeah, so it's up this road, U.S. Highway 160, and then here's the 648 they're talking about. And it says up this road. It could just be right back here. We don't really know exactly where it was. It could have been anywhere up this road a little bit. I don't think it doesn't go back too far. I think it ends maybe right in this area. There's a 648B that goes this way, but 648's right there. I mean, it's weird. There's a car right there, so that's what it would look like had that been caught on satellite. That's kind of weird, huh? Maybe somebody went fishing right there. See, it kind of looks like an old creek bed, sort of, right? I was thinking that kind of looked like that right there. Maybe that's not a creek bed, though. I think originally we had it just like right at the beginning here. But who knows exactly where that was on there. We don't have street view, so we can't go check. Yeah, I think it was like we were thinking maybe just right here at one point. But it's probably more likely somewhere else. Maybe even up there, I don't know. Okay. The area in question is located in Mineral County right before U.S. Highway 160 starts to climb Wolf Creek. Well, this is 160. So I guess it's just right in here somewhere. Because this is West Fork Road, but it says 160. Well, no, it says just starts to climb it. So I think they're talking about just the general slope there. After the car was reported to law enforcement, investigators determined it belonged to Gabriel Max Baldonado of Albuquerque, who was in his early 40s. But in the days since, authorities have been unable to locate Baldonado or piece together what may have happened. A host at a nearby campground said the car couldn't have been there more than 10 days, but neighbors had reported nothing unusual or out of the ordinary. Okay, so maybe that's a, let's see, is there a campground? Let me hit places. That's a ranch. You know, it could be right there, right? And maybe that's actually a bend that goes around. Like when you look at this picture, maybe that's just going around like that. You just can't see it. And there are some rocks right there, it looks like. That's what I'll do. I'm going to put that right there. I bet that's it. Yeah, but in the days since, the authorities have been unable to locate Baldonado or piece together what may have happened. A host at a nearby campground said the car couldn't have made it there more than 10 days, or been there more than 10 days, but neighbors had reported nothing unusual or out of the ordinary. Nothing was found inside the car to help determine what might have happened other than a mask, which leads authorities to believe the car was left there at least after the COVID-19 pandemic. The vehicle was in good working order. Well, I think it was actually put there closer to when the person who ran the campsite said. The debris used to bury the car had been there for years. Yeah, so let's see. This satellite footage is 2016. And if you look right here, there is a lot of little, dead trees right there, right? So that very well could be what they use. Let's see if there's any other spots that look anything like that. Okay, there's some right in this area. I mean, there's probably dead trees all over the place, but I'm just trying to find something that looked like... Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of dead trees. But it seemed like you could see it from the road. Like if you were driving, like this car right here, driving, might just look over and see it there. Yeah, could even be in there, I guess. Let's see if there's a better, where the trees aren't green and you can see through it. No. I think they're always green, actually. Evergreens, right? More recently, search crews with a human remains detection dog combed the area, which turned up nothing. But as we learn from Texas Echo Search, I was just thinking of something. Yeah, I mean, they say that, that guy, he isn't really that fond of that. Nope, you haven't heard it all. I am DJ. You haven't heard it. So that's the car being towed away right there. They did a pretty good search. Halsalka said they're pretty good dogs. They'll find something in there. Here, hold on, I gotta check something out. Yeah. Adding to the mystery, Halsalka said a pentagram. So this is kind of weird. Now it's all in this weird realm now. Adding to the mystery, Halsalka said a pentagram, a 5-point symbol often associated with mystical or occult meanings, was found 300 feet from the car made out of sticks. It's hard to say how long it had been there. Probably just some kids put it there. It's hard to say how long it had been there, he said, but it was weird when we found that. The Mineral County Sheriff's Office worked with investigators in New Mexico to help track down credit card or bank activity, which, again, turned up not a trace. There was no recent activity on anything, Halsalka said. Baldonado was not known to have a cell phone. See, he looks just sort of like a normal dude, doesn't he? This guy? I mean, I know that doesn't mean shit, but... Investigators located Baldonado's family, but to make matters worse, or more complicated, Baldonado had become estranged from his family and hadn't spoken with them for years, so maybe, who knows how old this picture is then. He might be totally different now. Angela Atwood, Baldonado's sister, said in an interview Monday with Durango Herald that Baldonado's wife of 15 years or so suddenly passed away in 2017, and that was the turning point for her brother. That made Gabrielle spiral, she said. Baldonado and his family moved to New Mexico a few years ago after his wife Carol finished nursing school. After she died, Baldonado and his 3 children went to stay with Atwood in the Seattle area. He just wasn't in a good place mentally to raise his kid. I mean, that sucks. Imagine that. Like, he probably worked really hard to get her through medical school. Nursing school, which is difficult, and then it becomes a really good paying job for the family, right? And then she passes away, obviously young and unexpected, and he's just has absolutely nothing at that point. Yeah, he didn't do anything. He didn't do that to his car, though. I don't know why anybody even thinks that he did that with his car. I would bet money that something happened to him, and then somebody just was trying to burn up his car. He just wasn't in a good place mentally to raise his kids, so they moved in with me, she said. He went back down to New Mexico to sort himself out, and then we never heard from him after that. See, going to New Mexico, he probably, got in with the wrong people, and then they drove his car to Colorado to dump it, to take it away from where it was. And then maybe they wanted to set it on fire, and then they realized, God, I don't know what in the hell's going on with that. To put it where it's visible and obvious, like this huge mound of perfectly stacked, like a a haystack made of of brush, I mean, over a car, and then you're going to set it on fire. That part's just, it just doesn't even, I mean, I could see doing that in the middle of the woods, but apparently a machine was doing this. Like literally a tractor. Remember that when we were reading about that? Was doing this so nobody saw that? I just don't understand the car, she said. He's not a super strong person. I don't know how he buried it like that. Well, that's you thinking he's alive, right? That's not Gabriel. Well, you're right. You're right, exactly. That's not him. Also said it appears he had no connection to the Pagosa Springs area. I mean, I guess it's possible he found somebody to help him. I mean, what's the point of that, though? Why not just send your car into a river and take off if that's what he's trying to do? I mean, you're going to sit there and put it by the side of the road, completely covered with like a huge bonfire, and that's going to make sense to anybody? Yeah, I don't know. In September 2017, Matthew Johnston of Rico called 911 to say he was lost. Here, let me see something. Also said it appears he had no connection to the Pagosa Springs area. There are no planned future searches of the area. Foul play is not suspected. Really? That's crazy. Authorities in New Mexico, and he hasn't used any of his bank accounts or anything, and you don't think foul play is suspected because when you looked in the car, you didn't see any. Well, you know. Maybe hope you guys got the fingerprints off that car. I don't know what else to do, he said. The location in question has been a problem area for missing persons, Oslicus said. In September 2017, Matthew Johnston of Rico called 911 to say he was lost. His car was found parked at an overlook on the west side of Wolf Creek Pass, and a robust search effort turned up nothing. He remains missing to this day. And a year or so before, Hasselkus said a truck that went off Wolf Creek Pass near the same overlook resulted in the death of the driver, but authorities have reason to believe there was a passenger who was never located. Oh, interesting. Authorities have, let's see. Maybe if we find one, we'll find them all, Oslicus said. Well, there you go. That's about the update there. That's the guy that's missing right there. Has some kids. Wife died 2017, went on a downturn, moved back to New Mexico, and then they found his car completely buried. I mean, this isn't even what it looked like. It was completely covered, just a little bit. You could see, or maybe it was a little bit like that, but you could see part of the car, and it was intentionally covered, but you could easily see it. Anyway, the link's in the description, and there's a audio file that actually reads the entire article. This is what it sounds like.
Authorities have
This sounds like my old videos.
seemingly reached a dead end into an investigation of an abandoned car that was found buried under a massive pile of debris in a remote, mountainous area outside of Pagosa Springs.
Hey, I know what I can do here. Let's try this.
We'll start it. Let's start over again.
Authorities have seemingly reached a dead end into an investigation of an abandoned car that was found buried under a massive pile of debris in a remote, mountainous area outside of Pagosa Springs, with its owner missing.
He's nowhere to be found, said Mineral County Sheriff Fred Meyer. It's kind of weird.
Toyota Camry with
I don't think that'll work.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work because I can't. I don't have the ability to move the audio forward. Okay. So that's like that's what maybe it looked like. Authorities believe a car that was buried and abandoned had been there for about a week before being discovered August 13th. What the hell is what? Is this your first time you've ever been here, Shockwave, Lynn? Wow. Strange. So before you make comments like, what the hell is that? Make sure you've been on a channel for a while. That was Mary Lou. Thank you. All right. It's weird how when people just show up somewhere, they'll say something like, "What's going on? What's going on?" Wait. Like everybody owes them an answer for something. You know, how about hang out for a little bit? Okay, well that was Mary Lou Shockwave. Okay, did you hear that? Jesus. All right. Anyways, I'm going to switch on to the main story. I don't really have, you know, it's got a bunch of wanted posters. There's a Facebook page, not a wanted, but a be on the lookout poster. What do you call those things, by the way? Missing persons poster. There you go. Okay, so this is Fauna Frey, and I'll pull out the missing person poster here, and that's her right there. She's missing in Oregon here, more like southern Oregon, and maybe even central. Okay, age, she's 45 years old, white, eyes are blue, light blonde hair, 135 to 150. She wears glasses only when she drives at night, tattoo on her lower back, neon green and purple pullover, capri pants, Saucony shoes, not sure what that means, dark t-shirt on, and then it said, and that was what she was wearing on 6/28, I guess. And then she was driving a dark blue 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with Oregon license plate 339 EYB. And here's some articles on it. Fauna Frey has been missing since the end of June, and her family and friends tell Dateline. Oh, man, can I even talk about this? I mean, Dateline, they buy up every case out there. Dateline, they are growing increasingly worried with each day that passes. I've searched half the state of Oregon, Fauna, distraught father John Frey told Dateline. We're at a standstill and don't know where to go from here. We just want her home safe. Fauna, 45, is John's last surviving child. Her sister passed away in 2006. Just 2 years after their mother. So her mother passed away in 2004. Then her sister passed away in 2006. And then Fauna's older brother, Dallas, that's his name, died unexpectedly of a heart attack on June 19th of this year. I mean, that's just crazy. And then she was still really distraught about losing her brother, John, who's her father, said. She had been through so much, we all have. Fauna had been temporarily living in Dexter, Oregon, with her father and brother. And I think I found where Dallas's home was. I think it's this nice house right here. It looks like there's actually something that connects a couple locations. So this is where I think they lived, in just a small town in Oregon. And so there's Oregon. So it's kind of, I don't know, like south central Oregon. Or not even central, like just, I don't know, like central west Oregon. Not a lot going on down there. Like Eugene's right here, so it's south of Eugene. And so that's where she was living temporarily. So she was living with her brother and her dad because they sell real estate. Fauna had temporarily been living in Dexter, Oregon with her father and brother. Together they all run a family business that builds and sells homes. John told Dateline that on June 27th, Fauna drove her dark blue 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee from their home in Dexter to Grants Pass, Oregon. And if anybody here actually, works on the case or anything like that, the number's right there. It's hard to, I can't keep it on the screen and read anything at the same time. So I'll just keep reading this though. John told Dateline that on June 27th, so that's only, her brother died on the 19th, so 8 days after her brother dies, Fauna drove her dark blue 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee from their home in Dexter to Grants Pass, Oregon. Okay, and that's way down there. So right from here, and then now she's in southern Oregon, into Grants Pass. And then she went down there to give one of her brother's good friends, I guess, belongings, as sort of like, his estate. He probably said, hey, give my fishing pole and whatnot to this friend. So she drove down there to give the friend those belongings. Fauna left her laptop and cell phone behind. Now, when it says, when you say behind in this article, does that mean left it behind in Dexter? Or when she went to that guy's house, because that's how you worded it, where it was left right after that sentence. John added, her father, that his daughter didn't care much for her cell phone and usually used a burner phone to keep in contact with people. On June 28th, Fauna checked into a Super 8 in Grants Pass and called her father from the hotel. All right, so on June 28th, she checks into this Super 8 right here, because that's the only one in town. Yep, so she checks into this Super 8. And then she called her father, John, from the hotel. She still sounded pretty distressed, John said. He said he encouraged her to find a cabin to rent where he thought she'd be more comfortable instead of staying at the hotel. Fauna made a reservation for the next night at the Wescue Inn, I don't know how you pronounce it, probably Weskun in Grants Pass, and told her father she would call him the next day. All right, hold on a second. So all right, so the Super 8 was right there, and then she made a reservation at this small little, I don't know, it's more like kind of looks more like a bed and breakfast to me, but so she made an appointment there, or not an appointment, but a reservation. And told her father she would call him the next day. When she checked in, she said that the next day when she checked into that facility, okay? She told him she was going to take a shower and go to the store for a few things, then return to Super 8. It's the last time John spoke to his daughter. So it does appear that she went to, that night. She actually never made it over to this inn here. She never made it to the inn. Let's see. So she was staying at the Super 8, and then after she talked to her dad and made that other reservation, I don't know when she made that reservation, however, she then went to Big 5 Sports here, bought some stuff, and then went to Fred Meyer's here to buy some more stuff. And then apparently she went back to her Super 8, stayed overnight, and then they see her on surveillance, I guess, even leaving in the morning. But she never goes to this inn here and but her card's charged because she never canceled it. All right, so it's the last time John spoke with his daughter. After that phone call, Fauna's credit card was used twice at Big Five Sporting Goods and the Grants Pass Fred Meyer's, where she purchased personal and camping items, including a lantern, flashlights, tennis shoes, shampoo and conditioner, a deli sandwich, and chips, according to Fauna's father. Now, one thing I found interesting in here is, buying shampoo and conditioner isn't something somebody that's suicidal would buy, right? Do you guys agree with that? Like, it just seems like an odd thing to buy when you're, I'm going to kill myself. You're really depressed, and then you're going to buy shampoo and conditioner. I don't think that doesn't fit with that narrative. He said there is security video of Fauna at those stores, and there is, apparently, and then again back at the hotel after the shopping trip. The last confirmed sighting of Fauna is a video of her leaving the Super 8 hotel the next day, June 29th, between 8:30 and 9 a.m., with her bags and personal belongings. Fauna's father told Dateline she never showed up for her reservation at the Westview Inn. Maybe that's Westview Inn like, Sam in the cartoons. Wabbit, Westview. Just kidding. I don't have a clue. But her credit card was charged because she never canceled it. So there you go. Her credit card was charged. She never canceled it. Josephine County Sheriff Dave Daniel told NBC affiliate KOB-15 that Fauna's bank account hasn't been accessed since June 29. Hey, thanks, Gloria Batari. He also noted that Fauna never checked in at the inn where her reservation was taken and her credit card charged. He added that potential sightings have not panned out and that there had also been no trace of Fauna's car. Investigators are asking the community to be on the lookout for her dark blue Jeep Grand Cherokee with the Oregon license plate 339 EYB. We all have family. We all have mothers, brothers, sisters, daughters, sons. So we get it. We are that itself. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. Sheriff Daniel told NBC affiliates, so we will continue to run this down every dead end. And if you listen to the father and the friend, they don't feel like they're getting very much help at all from authorities. Fauna's father, John, told Dateline the drug cartel and human trafficking, here we go with all that, are bad in that area of southern Oregon, and said he's worried that she may have been abducted. Well, it's possible, right? 2 months later, with no trace of his daughter, John continues to search all over the state. He told Dateline he's grateful to everyone in the community who has taken the time to search for Fauna, even in the midst of a pandemic. Some of those people who helped us search have lost homes in the fires. The search of Fauna isn't just being done on the ground, it's being done through social media too. And Jenny is the friend here. Jenny said she'll do whatever she can to spread the word about Fauna's disappearance. I left her a message on Facebook. She didn't get back. Her father is going out every day, camping in his truck, driving all over the state, looking for her. His last surviving child, Jenny. I mean, isn't that crazy? Because remember, she'd lost her sister and her brother, and then it was just her. So, man, I mean, her dad would have no siblings out of 3. That's crazy. It's like Saving Private Ryan almost. Fauna is described as 5'6", weighing 135 to 150, with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a neon green and purple pullover, capri pants, and a dark shirt. Her friend said that she may have, if she's still alive, she could have lost a lot of weight since then. Okay, so, I guess. All right. Now this is a timeline that's on the Facebook page for her, and that's let me get that. There it is. So it's called Help Find Fauna Frey. And I'm going to put this link in the description here. I think I actually already had it. I think I do. Never mind. So this is the Facebook page right there. Hold on a second. Had Cairo's chat with me there. So there's a lot of people commenting on here. There was a timeline that was on here. So maybe we could go over that. And there was one, somebody did say that there was in the interview that I watched on a sort of a local YouTube channel, it stated, hold on. Lost all the screens got knocked out. There was a sighting, apparently, somebody said anyways. That she was spotted right here by somebody, and that person even said, oh yeah, I saw them there with capri pants, but that's before capri pants was mentioned. And this was July 30th, which is literally like a month and, in a week after she went missing. So could she have been in this area? And apparently she had like a pit bull type dog with her or something like that. But she didn't own a dog, but she liked dogs. So maybe she took one in, Then it gets kind of sketchy at that point. Like, okay, well, all of a sudden she has a dog but didn't have one. And I'd like to know what her favorite place to go in Oregon is. See, I think that would be an important thing to know. But anyways, you guys can call in with any of your ideas. There's the number right there. If there's anybody watching who's been following the case and has extra information, let me know. So let's go over the timeline now. So 2004, Fauna's mother passes away. 2006, let me move this over so you can see the number. There we go. 2006, Fauna's younger sister passes away. And then 2019, Fauna's beloved pet golden lab passes away. Oh yeah, so this is all this stuff this year. So last year, her favorite dog died. Then in June this year, Fauna's older brother Dallas doesn't show up to work. Fauna, Dallas, and their father John work together building homes. Fauna goes to Dallas's home, that's his name, Dallas, and discovers her last remaining sibling has passed away from a heart attack. She attempts CPR. She also is the one who found her mother passed away, I believe. Fauna, on June 27th, so just 7 days later, and her dad, John, barbecue at their shared home. Fauna leaves, telling her father she is taking a load of items to the dump. That evening, Fauna drives her Jeep from Dexter, Oregon, towards Grant Pass, Oregon. She spends the night in her car at an unknown location. She does not bring any luggage. It's weird, too, because she may have put a bunch of stuff in the car. It sounds almost like she lied. Like she didn't actually go to the dump, it doesn't sound like. It sounds like she was loading up stuff in the car to bring to the friend that lived in Grants Pass. So she drives her Jeep from Dexter, Oregon towards Grant Pass, Oregon. She spends the night in her car at an unknown location. That's interesting. She does not bring any luggage that we're aware of. She does not bring a cell phone. So apparently she doesn't want to be found. You know, so it doesn't sound good. It sounds like she could have been, you know, doing something to herself. But again, you have that weird purchase of shampoo and conditioner. Yeah, well, she's been gone for a while. Well, they did mention something about a burner phone. But why would she use a burner phone to communicate with people? That just doesn't make any... I hate that stuff. Oh, I use them all the time, Gray. Well, then you're probably a drug dealer. No, I'm just saying, normally people don't use burner phones, right? Unless you're trying to, like, hide who you are or something. Eloped. What do you mean eloped? Jesus. Does it sound like she was in eloping mode? You know, she was literally really depressed. Come on, Lisa.
Gray, you're so mean. Why can't they just say that? It's possible, right?
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, technically it is.
Okay, you're right. It's like 1 in a trillion, all right? Well, I'm just saying it didn't seem to match what we've been talking about, you know. All right, at an unknown time, Fauna picks up a female hitchhiker, apparently. So this is something on June 28th, and gives her a ride. She drops her off. The hitchhiker's identity is known to police, and they have contacted her. Okay, so she did pick up a hitchhiker. Fauna goes to the home of her brother Dallas's friend, Sean. So this guy's name is Sean in Grants Pass. She gives him some of her brother's belongings. So maybe that's the stuff she loaded up in the truck, made it sound like she was going to the dump. Sean says her car looked empty. So when Sean saw the car, he said it looked empty. So she didn't load it up with anything. I'm not sure why she needed to say that she was going to the dump. Making it likely that she had made it to the dump. Okay, well, maybe. But didn't she, I mean, are you guys positive she actually threw anything out? It could have just been, oh, I'm going to the dump to explain why she's taking off, but then just disappeared. Because she didn't mention anything about going to Grants Pass, right? Like, she didn't say, hey, I'm going to go to the dump and then I'm going to the Grants Pass. Let's see. Fauna goes to the home of her brother, Dallas's friend Sean. She gives him some of her brother's belongings. Sean says her car looked empty, making it likely that she had made it to the dump. Well, that's assuming that she had stuff in it that she threw away. You're just assuming that. After visiting Sean, Fauna checks into the Super 8 in Grants Pass. She calls her father John from the motel. He says she sounds distraught. So even her dad says, oh yeah, she sounded really distraught. She talks about her mission to give some of her brother's belongings to his friends. And on that video I was watching earlier, he said she started talking about angels and stuff. She mentions giving a ride to the hitchhiker. So while she's talking to her dad, she literally says, oh yeah, I gave a ride to a hitchhiker, and says the hitchhiker reminded her of someone that her and her father knew. So maybe that's sort of like the angel. Is it possible that the hitchhiker was an angel? I'm just kind of, I was thinking that earlier. Now reading this makes it seem like that might be kind of what she was saying. She talks about kind people you meet in life Oh, there you go. Being like angels on earth. She tells him she met Sean and wants to meet up with her late mother's boyfriend. Well, that's a little interesting. So her mother, who died, must have been divorced before 2004, and he had a boyfriend. And so he wants to meet up with that person and a friend of Dallas. John encourages her to check into a more comfortable place like a cabin instead of a motel. Fauna tells John she will call him tomorrow once she checks into her new hotel. Fauna tells her father she wants to shower and is going to the store to pick up some things she needs. This is the last known contact Fauna makes with anyone. Fauna's credit card is used at 2 stores, and they do see her on it, so it's not just her credit cards, it's her. At 2 stores that evening, after her phone call, at Big 5 Sporting Goods in Grants Pass, she purchases a lantern, 3 flashlights, capris, tennis shoes, and a sports bra. At the Grants Pass Fred Meyer's, she purchases socks, VO5 shampoo, Pantene conditioner, 2 Burt's Bees, not sure what that is, 1 deli sandwich, 1 bag of potato chips, some activewear clothing, and 2 cans of Foster. So a couple beers. Fred Meyer video footage captures her walking to her car wearing a neon green and purple pullover. Update. So there's an update here. It has now been confirmed that Fauna arrived back to her room at the Super 8 after her shopping trip alone. On 6/29, Fauna leaves in her Jeep from the Super 8 between 8:30 and 9 a.m. with her bags and personal belongings. This is the last confirmed sighting of Fauna. Fauna does not show up in her hotel reservation at the Westview Inn in Grants Pass. So she never made it there, and she got charged. So it's weird. It's almost like she either forgot that she made the reservation or just didn't care at that point. The inn charges her credit card since she never canceled her reservation. This is the last activity on her credit card or bank statements. On July 5th, Fauna's father reports her missing to police. So it wasn't until July 5th that she was reported missing. The missing person report is filled in Josephine County, where she was last seen. Crazy, huh? So it's kind of a complete mystery. They haven't found her car or anything at this point. It's a pretty big car to just disappear. Yeah. So anyways, is nobody going to be calling in to discuss this or what? The lines have been open this whole time, and I didn't hear it beep once. What are you talking about, Jenny? We're on to something else now. Yeah, it's a different case. Yeah, they put a lot of sticks on that one. Yeah. Right, I get it. Well, I just went over the whole thing. That's all anybody knows. I think it's 50-50 whether she did something to herself or accidentally something happened. I guess, I would say 50%, 40% she did something to herself. And then 30-30 on accident or met with foul play somewhere. If I was going to do odds. All right, 714. You have to unmute yourself. Hello, 714.
Hi.
Hello. Who's this?
Hi. This is Catherine from Left Undone.
Oh, cool. How's it going?
Good. So I been following the Fauna case, and I've been in touch with her dad and her friends.
Well, I see the number. Like, you can
friends.
call the dad. I just, I wasn't sure. Like, right. I didn't have enough time. I just wanted to bring it up. And then I left a message with the friend. But he said there's a number. He just goes right to him, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So here, I put out a video on the weekend, and they asked me to take it back down because there is more information. So I'm really kind of in a pickle about that because as far as the community goes, I live in Southern Oregon, so I'm very close to home. And
why do they want you to take your video down though? What was on your video?
Well, they gave me some information about her timeline, and the last place that she was seen was the Super 8, but her debit card was used after that day. There's also a hitchhiker that she picked up.
Yeah.
I know that hitchhiker's identity. She's well known by law enforcement in the community, and she was actually arrested that same day that Fauna disappeared on unrelated stuff, mess and craziness.
Do you think she picked her up again maybe after that? Like said, hey, I'll give you a ride.
I do. That's my gut feeling that she may have gone back because there's some other information. And I've been waiting. I was supposed to get the okay to put my video back up this Saturday, and they're struggling with getting the okay from law enforcement, apparently, which it a little bit bothers me because, they're friends that live up north of here where Fauna lived, but she was down in this part of Oregon. And when she disappeared, it's local to a lot of places that I know of and go to. And it's a little bit confusing because I don't understand why the community hasn't been updated on the actual last part of the timeline. So on the 29th, when she made her reservation at the We Ask You In on the 29th, she was also using her debit card later in the day on the 29th.
Right.
And so I have
she made the reservation on the she made the reservation on the 29th, right? But she was still staying, but she was still staying at the Super 8 that night, and she was going to stay at the Westview Inn on the 30th, right?
No. Okay. So
because that's what it said in that one interview with the dad. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is why it's frustrating because I feel like the community at large should be able to be aware of exactly what happened.
Okay. Well, just say all the stuff. I know. Well, just say the stuff because if you're calling in just to tell us, oh, I have the stuff that I can't say, then don't bother. But if you have stuff that you can say it, and then I would just put your video back up because everybody needs to just know that kind of information.
Right. And I'm trying to get a hold of the sheriff's department because I don't know, but I feel like, and you're right, I feel like if her friends know, why would they put that out there to those people if we can't know as a whole, right? So, okay, I'm probably going to get blasted for this, but yeah, my video, I mean, you know how it is. You put time and energy and effort and searching, and I did the work and the legwork, and I started following the case initially before I ever even reached out to these people. So the bottom line is Fauna left the Super 8 motel on the 28th. Oh my gosh, I have to go. She spent the night there on the 28th. She left on the 29th.
Okay.
On the 29th, she left there at 8:30 in the morning, 8:35 in the morning. She was then seen at a she withdrew money on the 29th from a local bank, a little bit further south.
Well, do you know what's the name of it?
The Umpqua Bank in Rogue River.
But it's in not in the same town then?
No, it's a little bit further south. It's probably 15 miles south of Grants Pass. Then she went to a grocery store in Grants Pass, or someone did with her debit card. We don't know if it was her. And she used this grocery store in Grants Pass. She used her debit card, or someone did, in Grants Pass. At the same time she was at this grocery store, within minutes, she made a reservation at the We Ask You Inn.
Okay, so on the...
And,
well, she went to... So basically, she drove by the I call it Wescue.
Yep.
Drove by the We Ask You Inn.
I called them to ask them. Yeah, We Ask You.
So she drove by the We Ask You. That's another weird... That's another name, too. Like, hey, We Ask You.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, so she must have driven by there to go to the Umpqua Bank at one point, right? Because it's actually you drive by on I-5, it looks like, to get to the Umpqua Bank. And was that on the 29th also, just kind of early in the day?
Yeah, so she would have, if she took 99 Rogue River Highway, she would have gone, she could have gone either way. She could have took the 5.
Yeah, that goes right
River,
there,
and then came back on 99, which is Rogue River Highway, goes right along Rogue River.
Okay.
She would have passed the We Ask You In.
Mm-hmm.
So in my thought, I think she passed it and saw it because it's lovely. It's an older, it used to be a fishing lodge.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
A lot of famous people have stayed there. Clark Gable. Yeah, and it's along the river, and it's really pretty. I went through there and did some video on it. And so then she would have passed it, so she might have seen it when she was coming back into town or going out of town, either way.
Because it seems weird that she would have made a reservation and then just forgot about it. So it seems like something, either she just didn't care about it or something happened to her before she was going to go check in there.
So in my mind, and I don't know if she would have went somewhere else after, but the time that she would have made that reservation, she had groceries, right? So what are you going to do with groceries? You're not going to drive around. In June in Grants Pass, Oregon, it was probably 100 degrees that day. And so she had gotten groceries and she made the reservation. She spoke to the lady there. The lady said she was surprised she never showed up because she was excited.
Well, I want to make sure I get the timeline, so this Umpqua Bank, what time was that? Yes.
About 11:45 in the morning.
Well, that sounds pretty specific.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Right.
Like about 11:40.
I feel like I'm in a pickle because I was given information and then I made a mistake and didn't know it wasn't allowed to be shared. But then at the same time, I'm a member of this community and I don't understand why it wouldn't be shared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you want everybody should have the correct information so that they can help try to locate her. Okay, so you've got...
And what if somebody saw her? Right?
Yeah, so 11:45 at Umpqua on the 29th. So after she checked out of the hotel, what do you think she was doing for like those 3 hours? Because it's not that long of a drive.
Very possibly. She could have went hiking. Her father says that she's comfortable. There's a lot of hiking trails in the area. There's a lot of stuff to do. She could have gone hiking for the day and then gone there. She could have went back with the hitchhiker. She could, who knows? You know what I mean?
Okay, so she goes through this. So then after,
have some time that
maybe she even went and had brunch somewhere that we're not aware of with cash or something. I mean, who knows, right? So,
right.
So anyways, 11:45, she gets some more, gets money out of Umpqua Bank. Do you know how much money was taken out of there? Was it enough to sustain? Is that
$200?
Couple hundred. Okay. So then from there. So maybe she went there on I-5 and then drove back on 99, or maybe she went 99 the first time, but 99 is kind of slower to, although if she went hiking, maybe it matches up more with that. Who knows? It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So after 11:45,
where was a prettier drive.
Yeah. And what was next after the 11:45 at the Umpqua Bank?
Then the next will be the grocery store in Grants Pass.
And what was that? What the name of that one is? I'm just trying to pin them all.
Gooseberry.
Gooseberry? Like.
And that's where her debit card was used.
So gooseberries.
Oh gosh, I'm in trouble. Gooseberries, yeah, you can see it. It's on Redwood Avenue.
Okay, and then how long after that when she got the cash, was that used?
3:39 is when her debit card was used at Gooseberry. 3:39.
Huh. Well, that's weird because that's so much time missing again.
There's a gap again.
And it was just her debit card. Now, was she seen on their cameras?
So, really bizarre, but it was told to them that their cameras weren't working or there was something wrong with their cameras. If you zoom in on Gooseberries, there's a little Humane Society thrift store right next door. It looks like an older house.
Yeah.
Literally right, if you're looking straight down, to the right there, you see that little building on that, now looking to the left. So if I'm looking, right there.
Yeah.
That right there next door, it looks like an old house. That Humane Society thrift store has a camera pointing at the parking lot. I went over there on Sunday. They closed at 2. So, and then my friend went over there today. They were closed on Monday. But we're going to go tomorrow and talk to them to see if their camera was working that day. Cool. Gooseberry says they didn't have video that was working that day. But I know somebody personally that worked as an recent ex-employee at Gooseberries. And they were in there the other day, and they asked them about their camera. They talked to the manager. They're like, hey, you know the Fauna Frey story? And the manager's like, yeah. And she said, well, you don't have her on camera? And they said, we don't see her in the store at all. And so
at
they
Gooseberries?
got private investigators
at
Gooseberries.
So maybe, well, here's what's interesting is, well, it's kind of weird, but let's say that the hitchhiker girl somehow, I don't know, they were able to communicate. Maybe she probably even has a cell phone, the hitchhiker, the girl, I would imagine.
Right.
So they contact and say, hey, yeah, but then she takes something happens, but then she ends up taking the cash to use for maybe buying something later, drugs maybe, then goes into Gooseberries and uses her credit card and but that's why they didn't see Fauna in there. There's somebody else in there, but I don't know. I mean, the credit card was used in there, right? So there's got to be a camera that was filming the register or something.
And they do have cameras inside. They do. I mean, because like I said, somebody I know used to work there, and they know that the cameras are always on.
Yeah. So basically,
the other thing is,
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say I know the identity of the hitchhiker, and she's currently incarcerated, but she's probably not going to be there very long. And she's been arrested 3 times since the 29th of June. She was arrested on the 29th of June, which is the day Fauna went missing, and for being up on a road drunk and disorderly and in the road and on drugs.
What's the name of what time was that at Gooseberries again? 3:40. Was it 3:45?
Her debit card was used at 3:39.
Okay.
And she made her reservation at the We Ask You at 3:35.
Oh, that same day? I thought it was the day before.
Within minutes. Right. Yeah. So the original timeline is a little messed up, and that's what really bothers me, that the actual timeline is not being released, and I don't understand why. There's other information that isn't being released, and I do understand why, and I won't talk about it because it's important, I think, to the investigation. I wish I didn't know, but the timeline, I think, is super important because I have her disappearing. If she was actually the one that used her debit card at Gooseberries at 3:39 with groceries, making a reservation to go to We Ask You, it's a 12-minute drive.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that 12 minutes is when she disappeared. Or if somebody else used her debit card, it's a whole different story.
I wonder, they must have ping information. Well, I guess she had a burner phone, right? Or something?
Burner phone. Mm-hmm.
But why does she have a burner? Why does she have a burner phone?
It's a good question. There's been some confusion about that because first they said she left home without her phone and without her computer.
Yeah.
And drove down. Now, she did go to Wolf Creek, which is, the police won't even go to Wolf Creek, to meet up with this friend of her brother's that she was bringing some of her brother's belongings to after he passed away. Wolf Creek is a shady area. And so she went in there on the 28th only stayed for about 30 minutes. But I think initially she met that hitchhiker along that route that day, whatever she was doing on the 28th.
Do you know where she was arrested?
I dropped her off.
Oh, go ahead. Do you know where the hitchhiker was arrested?
Yeah, she was arrested up by, I believe it was by the fish hatchery area, Wildemere. Look and see if you can put in Wildmere, Wildemere, that in Fish
What's
Hatchery
after the D?
Road.
Like Wild.
Yeah, put Fish Hatchery Road, Wildemere.
Well, I don't know how to spell that.
Like that.
Spell that Wilder thing again. Wilder.
I think it's Wildemare. Try that. Or put in Fish Hatchery and you'll see it on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez. There's maybe that. I don't know. Let's see. It didn't really. If you knew the spelling of it, I could probably type it in. But.
Let me see if I can put it in the chat. Hold on. Can I put a link in the chat or no? Let's see. Wildemere.
You can just give me the spelling, then I can find it.
Let me see if I can find it.
And then you can keep going on with what you were doing. I just want to get everything.
Fish Hatchery Road. Okay. Wilderville. I'm so off.
Oh, okay.
Wilderville.
And then like a hatchery, or just in that town. It looks like
that would be the town, and the road is Fish Hatchery. Wilderville.
So she was just on that road, Fish Hatchery Road, somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what was she doing there?
I was also and then the other thing is that car she was driving is a 2000 Chevy Laredo, and one of my subscribers did a little digging in the area, and there's a lot of those that come up stolen in Southern Oregon and the Grants Pass.
Who was okay, but the hitchhiker wasn't driving that, right?
No, but Fauna was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We were just talking about the hitchhiker. All right, so the hitchhiker was arrested on the 29th. Do you know what time?
7:30-ish p.m. Right around 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, so everything's sort of,
I mean, I can email you her.
Crazy.
I don't want to blast her if she has nothing to do with it, but I can email you her information, who she is, if you want, and you can look at her.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But what were you going to be? You were about to say other things about. I kind of interrupted you. Something about.
No, it's okay.
Let's see. There was 11:45 Umpqua Bank. And what's weird is the 3:35 making that reservation, and then just 4 minutes later buying. I mean, what was bought at Gooseberry's? Do you know?
Yeah, they need the receipts, is what they need. To be. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, the Josephine County Sheriff's Department has. They don't even patrol 24 hours. They won't go into places like Wolf Creek. They just don't have the manpower, and it is very interesting because the problem with it is the family, like her dad is out there driving. He's in the area. He's driving. He's actually using the 3D guy that does the at the satellite view at real time satellite view. He reached out and made a comment on my channel, and I gave them the information. So he's working with him.
What do you mean 3D guy? That they don't have that yet. Like 3D satellite recorded. I mean, they're working on it. I mean, who claimed that they have like a real? Like, go ahead, let's hear.
Yeah, this guy is Mark. Mark, and he is the 3D guy or whatever, and he is working with him, and he was able to get a shot. Hopefully, that is a uncloudy area shot of that day somehow, some way. That's why I put them together, because I was like, wait, what? They can do that?
But what do you mean 3D guy? That's more like satellite. Well, that's more like satellite. I mean, 3D is totally different.
Yeah. I don't know. They call him the 3D guy.
Okay.
I know. It's so confusing because I started researching this case myself, right? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's close to home. And so then I drove the path from the Super 8 to We Ask You, went there, walked around, videoed it. And then I reached out to the family and said, you're welcome to come on my show. I would like to talk to you so you can get the word out. And then people in this community that I know are like, oh yeah, she worked at Gooseberries and she did this and she did that after I was given this information. So then I put my video out and I misunderstood because they had said, you know, don't say this, this, and this, but then apparently they didn't want the timeline out there, which makes no sense to me. So I've been in this, I put it on private and I'm waiting. But now at this point, it's like, why wouldn't, and so I reached out to the Josephine County Sheriff's Department today. I sent them an email with open records request. I would like to know what's known and what isn't. They have private investigators, but I don't know what the private investigators are doing because they've asked me to go in these stores and ask for the videotapes. I'm like, wait, you know, I'm not really a PI.
Who's asking you that? The sheriff?
The friends.
Oh.
And they're very nice. But they're her friends. And I go in a little bit of a back and forth because I'm part of the community and they live up north, right? So I feel like our town should know the actual timeline. It just happens to be, you know, in this area. So the actual timeline, I don't know exactly when she went to Big 5. I'm thinking she got stuff for the hitchhiker because the hitchhiker lives in the woods in like a homeless encampment type place in the woods. I'm thinking some of that stuff she was trying to be kind and got the hitchhiker the
You still there?
And
oh,
yeah,
you got cut out.
And so she got. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened. Wi-Fi. So, anyways, yeah. So left Super 8 was gone somewhat all day. Went to the bank at 11:45. Disappeared again for about 3-4 hours. That there's no trace. Went to the grocery store, bought the groceries, made the reservation, and never heard from again.
But she made the reservation before the grocery store.
Well, you know, the grocery store is like a little. There's a restaurant type place in there. She could have been sitting having something to eat. There's tables and a deli, and a lot of people go in there for lunch.
But they said she's not in there.
Could have.
I wonder who. I mean, it's possible she didn't even make the reservation. You know. I mean, maybe she didn't even make that reservation. Somebody else called with the credit card, and they were just gonna. I don't know. Pretend they were somebody because nobody looks at your ID. You just kind of pay, and you know.
Yeah, the We Ask You In isn't cheap. It's like $200 a night. But the woman who she spoke to when she made the reservation said that she was really excited and she was surprised she didn't show up because she said, "Oh, cabins! That's exactly what I'm looking for. That'd be awesome. That's great. That's what I want."
Like the dad had suggested.
Right. Exactly.
So like that probably was her then.
Yeah, it probably was. But that's really bizarre that was so close to her buying groceries. But it makes sense because they're cabins, right? So you would go get your groceries. And Gooseberries is an upper end kind of health food type, you know, organic stuff. So you're going to spend a little bit of money when you're in there. It's not like going to Safeway or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I can see her spending, you know, a decent amount of money at Gooseberries and going to her cabin to spend the evening. It was a one-night reservation. And, yeah, so I just think that it's a little bit bizarre, and I'm hoping that the Josephine County Sheriff's Department gets back to me soon, but who knows, with the fires and stuff, it's a little, you know, that's a little bit of the priority right now, I think. But I don't think, my personal thing on this is I think she met with some shady people and she was trying to be kind or help them and give them money and lanterns and flashlights and all this stuff. And maybe not the particular hitchhiker because she's a little bit scattered and all over the place, and maybe not her, but people surrounding her may have followed her and abducted her and stolen her car and whatever other valuables she might have.
Well, I wonder what the hitchhiker was doing. Was she just walking on the road when she was arrested, or was she?
Well, let me see. I can tell you. I can tell. Let me pull up the arrest report.
Yeah, I saw I watched one video today. It was that guy. I guess he lives down there too, and he interviewed John and was it Jenny?
Oh, Rick Dancer.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Rick Dancer. He's up in Eugene. That's where they're from. We're about 2 hours. Grants Pass is about 2 hours. This southern
you're
Oregon
like
area
200 miles.
about 2 hours south.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like 200 miles away, maybe or more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 140 or so.
Oh yeah, I guess southern. I'm thinking more like deep southern Oregon.
Let me see if I can find this.
You know that Ty Burrell, the guy from Modern Family, he lived in Applegate when he was a kid.
Yep, very close by. Very close by. Yeah. I didn't know that. Okay, here it is. So here's the news article on the I won't.
Well, you don't need to say her name.
No, Ben. What's that?
There's actually an article on her arrest?
Yes.
Did it say anything about the other case when it met in the article, or was it just a random small town article about an arrest or something?
I'm going to find it. But why? I don't know why while I'm talking on my phone, it's not letting me open it. So I'm going to try to get on my computer. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, that's weird that they would still have that timeline on the Facebook page when it's not even accurate.
I know. Okay, here it is. I'm not going to say her name just because I don't know if she has anything to do it, and I don't want to target on anybody that might not have anything to do with anything, you know what I mean? But it just says, the Oregon State Police arrested a Grants Pass woman on old and new charges last night, so this is June 29th, after they found her obstructing traffic on Redwood Highway in Wilderville. OSP, Oregon State Police, reports troopers spotted 34-year-old so-and-so walking in and out of travel lanes on U.S. Highway 199 near milepost 9 on Monday at 7:10 p.m. Troopers said they contacted her and could tell she was under the influence of alcohol. They said she ran away from them and a short foot pursuit ensued that led her to being detained. A subsequent records check showed she was wanted on a local bench warrant for failing to appear in court on charges of menacing, possession of methamphetamines, and disorderly conduct. She was placed in custody. She was transferred to Grants Pass and lodged in Josephine County Jail on the warrant, as well as new charge of interfering with police. So that was June 30th. That article was posted. June
and that was before she was even
reported.
That was before she was even reported missing.
Exactly.
Fauna.
But that's why I'm thinking the money might have went to her, because she got enough money from, given to her from Fauna maybe to get loaded,
Or she got the money from her somehow.
Or she took the money. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, and I actually just recently put on my channel, I said, please don't tell me anything that I can't go public with ever again. Nobody. Because, it's frustrating.
Well, I would just put it back out. I mean, the thing is, this stuff needs to be known so that people aren't sort of just inventing something to look at. It wastes people's time putting out fake information. Right. Yeah, because they still have that timeline up there that's not even accurate whatsoever.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess it's accurate, but then stops. There's nothing else. But there's
it stops.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe because you have more experience in this than I do, but maybe but why would law enforcement not want the accurate timeline out? Does that make any sense to you? Because it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I mean, you could maybe say that they don't want to. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really understand this part because it just shows that hey, she was still in the area. Went to Gooseberry's. Hey, everybody, you remember seeing her at Gooseberry? I mean, you could ask people questions that were around. You know,
right?
I don't understand that because there's a bunch of other opportunities. Because you could say, well, anybody near the Umpqua Bank, did you notice anything, right? Or then say, well, then even after that, did you notice anything over at Gooseberry's? You know, so there's two more opportunities for witnesses to have seen something.
Exactly. And more cameras, and, you know, anybody in the area have cameras, you know, or it just does. I can understand if there's something specific to the case, like what might have been stolen from her, like something specific, you know, a certain kind of, I'm making this up, but like a certain kind of diamond ring or something. You're not going to put that out there, right? But I don't understand the logic of not releasing a timeline where you say, yes, her debit card was last used. This is the last activity on it at this place at this time.
Yeah, especially this part. You know, maybe you wouldn't talk about, you know, the hitchhiker being arrested or, you know, whatever. I don't know. That's just sort of an interesting side fact at this point. But the thing is, you know, you got her leaving the Super 8 at 8:30 to 9, and then she does something. Like you might ask the people, did anybody see this vehicle? Now it's kind of late, but I mean, if they'd put that out there before, between 9 o'clock and 11:45, did you see this Jeep 2000 or, you know, Fauna walking around, you know, something, because there's 2.5 hour gap there. And then she gets money out of the ATM machine, you know, a couple $100, I guess. And then she disappears again for almost like 4 hours at that time. You know, from the time she got cash, she disappears for 4 hours. And did she spend that cash somewhere in those 4 hours? Okay, because then at 3:35, apparently, she's still doing just great because she calls the we ask you in and at 3:35 and makes a reservation, and then the person even said, oh yeah, she was excited about having a cabin, which is exactly what the father told her to look for, and it was like a cabin. Yeah. So it sounds like she really did intend to go there and not just sort of see. What's interesting though is it seems like after 3:39, like she intended to go back to the hotel because she just made reservations. She was going to go get something to eat, and then she was probably going to go back to the hotel, check in, lounge around for a little bit, and then go do something, maybe go have dinner, you know, relax. But that never happened. So something seems like maybe. See, now the nefarious angle's more likely than, even though she was depressed, you know, the thing that sounded odd to me was that she was buying the shampoo and the conditioner. Like, you don't buy that kind of stuff if you're really suicidal. You're kind of long-term, you're not even thinking about shampooing or putting, especially then conditioner too, right? Like that's like maintenance stuff. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, and she could have had that. I mean, they all have the minis in the Super 8. Probably had minis. Like if she was that worried about having clean hair, if she was going to commit suicide, I don't think she would have went out and bought actual, you know, shampoo and conditioner that she preferred. You know, you just wash your hair.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, so that's very strange. And I'd also like to know what size the clothes are and stuff that she bought at Freddy's and the Big Five, because was she giving the hitchhiker some clothes, or were they for herself?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think she was going to there buying shampoo and conditioner for a person that doesn't even have a house and is just living out on the streets. Okay.
No.
It doesn't really make any sense. Maybe some of the clothing, but the shampoo and conditioner, you know, was going to be for herself. Right? Like you're not going to, I mean, I don't know why you'd be getting somebody
Right.
And it was
Yeah.
interesting, like she bought like 3 small flashlights and then a bigger one, right? Something like that.
Well, all I've heard was 3 flashlights. So we were trying to figure out if they were in a package or if they were individual flashlights. We need the, whatever the barcode on that to see what that was all about. But I don't understand how there isn't more information released to public by law enforcement. And I know that the family and the friends did get a lot of pushback from law enforcement thinking, oh, she's just pissed off, she was depressed, she just went off in the woods. But from everything I've been told, that isn't, maybe a day or two, but she's not going to stay in the woods through all these fires and all this, without losing her money. It's not like she was that, she wasn't broke and she wasn't poor and she wasn't homeless kind of person. Like it just wouldn't have been what she did. This is the people that know her that said this to me. So it's definitely, in my opinion, after hearing everything that I've heard and talking to people that know her, I think something happened to her.
Yeah. What was the man? What were you just saying that they said about her that they don't think she would have done something to herself?
Yeah, they just don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't think that she would have.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems like everything, the way the dad spoke, it made it seem like it was possible she did something to herself. Talking about angels, I was thinking maybe the hitchhiker was the one she was like, because she said, oh, the hitchhiker reminded me of somebody, and then does God send angels down to, I don't know. So, and then maybe that made her want to go see the, quote, angel again, the hitchhiker, and then maybe there's got to be a way to get a hold of her. I don't know what happened there, but it just seems odd. Yeah, like at 3:39, she goes missing. Maybe she got the money to give. Maybe she got the money out of the bank to give to that person. Just sort of like, hey,
I think so. I'm helping you now. Yeah. Yeah. Like because I kind of heard the whole angel thing, and I thought sometimes you just meet angels. I feel like maybe she was trying to be kind of a good, kind angel person to this girl who's homeless and a hitchhiker, and so she was trying to help her.
And she was doing all these, dropping stuff off at one of her brother's friends. She wanted to see some other people. Maybe she was gonna. She was just on sort of this. And so then again, hearing that makes you then think the negative thing that she could have done something to herself, because a lot of times that's what people do. They sort of have these last moments of giving, and then they go take off. But then what about the reservation that she was excited to be at 3:35, or that she made at 3:35?
Yep, and they charged her card. She never showed up. And I feel like if she would have just driven off somewhere down one of the trails or one of the logging roads or something like that, her car would have been found by now. It's a big area, but it's not really. If she literally left there, and it's really kind of a interesting story, because there's just more to it, and she, going into Wolf Creek is dangerous. Number one, Wolf Creek, like I said, the sheriff's department won't even go in there. They actually made phone calls only to her brother's friend that she went and saw there. They didn't go there. Her friends told me to call him. They're like, call the friend. Here you go. Here's his number. They said he has diarrhea of the mouth. He'll talk to you. And then the other one, they're like, yeah, call the hitchhiker. She'll talk to you. Go with,
Did you do that? Did you ever call her?
No. I haven't done any of it because I was told to wait on all this information. So I'm not a private investigator. They're paying private investigators.
It's been like 4 months already, though. It's been a long time.
I would, but at the same time, like I said, I just feel like I'm kind of in a pickle, because I don't know where my, how do you word it? Like where my whatever lies, do I just shut up? After I started looking into this case, before I knew these people, I contacted them and said, hey, this is your friend, what's going on? I can help from being in this area. and was given a lot of information, but then told, hold on, so.
Yeah.
And that's why I really want to talk to the sheriff's department here. I want to get the open records request. I want to get the police reports. I want to know what's in there. I want to know what's public, what isn't. And I do know with the fires, I mean, we are surrounded by smoke here right now, and that's still happening. And they have taken priority because I'm from California, and we have police on every single corner, like around every corner. But I've lived up here for a couple of years, and it's just a whole different world where the police department isn't even on 24 hours or anything like that. So it's just a different world. And so I don't know if the information that isn't being shared is just because they don't have the manpower and the time for it. Is this something that really you have to have private investigators look into? And where are they? And why aren't they in Gooseberry's asking for the film? Why aren't they in, the Humane Society thrift store next door asking for that camera film? Her dad's driving all over the place, practically falling asleep at the wheel, driving, searching trails and forests and everything.
It sounds like he's been all over the place where there was no, just false leads, like he's just driving around. What about that sighting? Isn't that the one about they saw the Capris? I bet that's totally bogus.
I think that's bogus. The more I think about it, the more I think it's bogus. Where was that? Well, it starts with an M.
Well, it was way up in Holden Lane up in on Deerhorn Road. It's up by Leeburg.
Yeah,
that's where the sighting
not
was.
Really right.
Apparently.
Yeah, and they said some lady said she had a dog with her and she was wearing capris and broke down on the side of the road. But honestly, I do not see her driving around Oregon, not being spotted for all these months, not using her money, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, seems like something happened to her right after she left the Gooseberries. Like that's where she disappeared. I think that if that thrift store next door, they have a camera that's pointing right at the Gooseberries parking lot. If that camera, if they still have any tape from that day, that is going to be the ticket right there. Well, somebody should go over there. You live right there. Go in there.
I am. I'm going tomorrow. No, my friend tried to go today. We tried to go Sunday. They were already closed. They closed at 2, and we went at 3.
But how come people weren't doing this? Like, I mean, this was a while ago. I don't know if they're still going to have that tape.
Exactly. Time,
I mean, it seems like the police they would have had all this information. Somebody did, because the debit card was used at this Gooseberry, so that was in a record on the 29th. So when she was reported missing on July 5th, somebody out there, in the law enforcement realm should have been on that within 3 or 4 days, and then you'd go over to that Humane Society and get the damn surveillance. I mean, it seems really obvious. But now you're talking about 3 months later. Yeah.
Time, a lot of lost time. It's a bummer, because it probably is going to be, the biggest problem is the time is gone. So that's the updated info. That's what I have. And I think it's pretty accurate. I just don't know why it's being held back.
Well, maybe you can send me an email. Maybe we can do I won't, you can, I don't know if you can, but maybe we can communicate on the side on some of the other stuff, and I won't be able to put it out either, but just
leftundonei@gmail.com.
Okay. Just okay.
Yeah, because incomplete investigation, so leftundonei.
All right, yeah. I think I've seen your channel before. I don't remember what I saw. That sounds familiar.
I've been around for about 6 months, but I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. I'm getting super excited about that.
Sweet. Well, cool.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. But so sure, and I can give you some more off the record kind of stuff here, and maybe you can dig a little deeper too.
Well, yeah. Now that there's more stuff to look at, You know, I mean, like, we ask you in. I mean, I guess everybody's already been talked to at those locations. I'm just trying to figure out, like.
Yeah,
I
have
she just kind of just disappeared.
The hitchhiker. Yeah, I have a contact for the hitchhiker, for the woman at the We Ask You In, and for the friend in Wolf Creek. I have all that information was given to me. I just haven't contacted them yet. So.
Well, cool. Was it so all the friends had that information? I just heard about the case today, so I didn't even.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I do more like national or old, cold cases or something. But somebody sent this to me maybe yesterday, and then I looked at it today, and I was like, well, it's kind of in my neck of the woods. Not really, but.
There's another case that I'm following that is Michael Bryson. You might want to look at that one.
Oh, I saw that one mentioned with it.
Yeah. That's in Oregon too, but it's a really shady story, and I think something kind of big happened to him. So that one, if you have time, that one's another one.
That's kind of, isn't it Cottage Grove, that one?
Yeah, up at Hobo Campground. He just disappeared after going to this rave party up there. I've been talking to his parents. They really feel like someone knows something, and the more you look into it, the more it makes sense. Because they said, he got mad and walked out of the bus at 4:30 in the morning and said, you don't want me here, and then disappeared. But they've had dogs, they've searched, nothing. And it sounds like there's some foul play there too, or something happened to him and nobody wants to speak up. You know, he overdosed or something like that, and people aren't talking.
There's another story that's kind of like that, closer to where I live. I can't remember his name right now, though. But I think John Lorden did a video on him once, talked to his dad, and he was just hanging out with friends, and there's a little bit more to it, but he just kind of disappeared, and somebody knows something. Like, they found his vehicle, I think, with the doors open, but he was just missing. What the hell is his name? God, man, I know that. Cannot remember. God, his name is. He's one of the bigger. People have talked about him all over the YouTube world.
Oh, interesting. So something similar. Yeah, my son was a DJ. My son, my oldest, he's 31, and he was a DJ at raves. And so I was talking to him. He's going to come on my live on Saturday and talk about it. But he said there's always some bigger organizations there that are dealing the drugs, doing the behind-the-scenes stuff. And if anybody gets hurt or injured or anything, they very well could have just gotten rid of him because it and instead of bringing that like, oh gosh, this happened there. I don't know. I'm gonna have my son talk about it because he's got unfortunately has experience working at raves as a DJ in the past, and he got injured really bad one time at a rave in down at Lake Isabel in Southern California, and he got a head injury. A stage fell on him, and somebody came and tried to scoop him up and take him in the car, and he was like, oh, no, they'll bury my body out in the desert. I was like, what are you talking about? So, there's some nefarious stuff that goes on in those too, because you got to know, like in those raves, there's drugs, there's all kinds of shady crap going on. There's shady people, and so yeah, we're going to talk about that but Michael's parents are just heartbroken, and they just want somebody to talk. So I've been trying to keep that story.
A lot of times I don't do the ones a lot of times when it's like drugs and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like you're just going down a crazy rabbit hole when you're dealing with drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs being
and
part
they don't know. They don't know, but they just know their son disappeared, and they're heartbroken, and they want to know why, and they want somebody to talk. But again, these kids put themselves in these situations, like a rave. Fauna puts herself in a situation like dealing with hitchhikers that live in the woods and going to Wolf Creek, and which is a huge drug area. And you don't realize somebody sees something they want from you. Yep.
Yeah, sometimes people, when they're driving around, they don't really know where they're going. Like if you go to Los Angeles or something, and you've never been there and you drive to the wrong part of town, you might as well just, I mean, you're just not going to live.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like you go to the wrong spot. But if you know the areas, you just go right around them and all that. So it's the same way in all these little towns. You might drive through that one little crappy small town that has a really bad element, and you stop to go get something, and then boom. Oh, Daniel Oberg is that other guy's name.
Oh, okay.
Daniel Oberg.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of him, but there's videos on YouTube on him.
No, okay.
Wait, what was your first name again? Did you say?
It's Kathy.
Oh, Kathy. Okay. Well, hey, that was cool. I appreciate you calling in with the all that updated timeline information or added timeline information.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. We might as well have it out there. I mean, it's the updated stuff. So, again, I just kind of got swirly about the whole thing because I was told, oh, wait. But now it's been a week and nobody's given more info, but we know it's out there. So like I said, I'll let you know because I reached out to the Josephine County Sheriff's Department myself today. So I'm hoping that we'll get some more info from them that we can share.
And it was Gmail. Is that the Gmail address? I mean, it was the Left Undone.
Left Undone, I.
Yeah, so that's her page,
Yep.
Left Undone, you guys. So
Yep.
check it out.
Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, maybe I'll try to do some digging. You can do some digging, and maybe we'll do it again. Have another.
That'd be awesome.
You know, like a collaboration almost.
How about that? Yeah.
I don't. They say I don't ever do those, but I do them. I do them with normal people that actually have factual information. You know.
Well, that's what you need. Yeah. Forget all the rumors. Exactly. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, listen, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. You made it a lot more interesting story. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, good. Good to know.
All right.
All right.
Nice
Well,
meeting you.
great.
All right,
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
I'll send you an email.
Oh,
okay.
cool.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, it'd be cool to get the rest of the information. Just see what's going on. But look at you guys. One of these great shows, and it's as if it wasn't one. Yeah, she lives down in that area. It's so much easier when you're right there to be able to, just go out your door, drive down to a store, and go, "Hey, what's going on?" Yeah, hit the like button, everybody. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. And don't forget, we're trying to raise funds at the end of the month. If you thought the show was interesting, help support the channel. Thank you.
15, 20, I'm better down 15, better down 20, down 5, better down 30, and 30, and 30, 20,
hit the like button.
30. You want to put 30, sir, 25, and you're out. I'm better down 25, better down 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Let's see. Sold. Well, anyways, I don't really have anything else to talk about. I was going to go over this case, but that was cool to get a lot more information right there. Yeah, that's right. That's the auctioneer. Not sure what you're talking about, IMDJ, but no idea. I commented and asked questions that helped clear some things. What the hell are you talking about? Hey, thanks Patricia, Suzanne, Matt Gill, Padraig, and Gene Fish. Yeah, so see if I can get, it'd be cool to, I mean, I can't really say it, I guess, but it'd be cool to have other information to work with. I'm glad she, I mean, I don't see any reason why either that timeline right there can't be put out there. There's absolutely no reason. It just shows more timeline, you know? there's more things. Hey, everybody, if you'd seen somebody over at the Umpqua Bank, let us know if it just seems really obvious. Hey, thanks, Julie W. And if there's anybody else out there that knows something, there you go. I commented and asked questions that helped clear some things. Okay, you mean like everybody else? All right, cool. Oh, I see. Okay. I was just trying to understand what you wrote. It was one of those weird comments. Okay, I get it. All right, who has a cold case that's not popular? You know, one that's sort of low. You know, let's see if we can look at that one really quick. Yeah, see, I like, you know, the way she does stuff. It's like how I try to do it, where you just get you fill in the blanks, you get the information, you call who you can call. It was kind of the same way in that case. Remember the girl that got into the car at the church? What's her face? You know, when I was talking to the sheriff, and I talked to the mom, I talked to the boyfriend. And that was one where I didn't live there either. Yeah, Madison Bell, yeah. Idiot. What a joke. I kind of want to know what that whole thing was about. Was that actually just all fake? Like every bit of it? Just to get like PayPal donations or something? Yeah. Yeah, I've already done the boy in the box. That's so cliche. I want some that nobody's ever heard of. No, I didn't see that. Where is that one located? Disappeared one afternoon? Boy, that's so specific. You got to be a little bit more specific than that. Although there can't be more than one time that person's ever showed up in a... So these are all things that people have cut out before. So somebody else has already done that. So he's still missing, this kid? Oh, I guess that was about a different, just a mention in that article. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of information on him out here, but probably on YouTube and Reddit and so it was 1988, is that the year? No, it must have been 82. 6th anniversary of Scott Cleschultz disappeared. A disappearance from his St. Charles suburban neighborhood. Police launch yet another unsuccessful effort. Let me try 1982. But I don't think he's even in the paper. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so when he went missing, he was never really even in the paper. I mean, just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there's no reference of him at all. Yeah, but you're talking about 6 years later. It doesn't. I don't see any newspaper articles on him when he disappeared. So I'll have to look at it differently at a different time. Or if you can send me a link or something, that'd be great. But he's not in the newspapers.com. Other than that one 6 years after that in '88. Yeah, we'll have to do it at a different time. There was only 3 total articles on him, and it was 6 years after he went missing. Oh yeah, I was going to say that Cairo had some kind of a weird incident near where he lives. I guess 10 minutes from his house today. Body found in woods may be linked to burned vehicle.
Found in area of Hancock County could be connected to a burned vehicle found in Columbiana County. Thanks for joining us tonight for 7 News at 6. I'm Katherine Guyon.
And I'm Steve Moore. 7 News reporter DK Wright
But send me a link, Jennifer, to my email. I'll check it out.
tells us authorities have been working non-stop since the call came in.
The call came in at 4:30 Sunday from a rural area off Racetrack Road.
We received a call from a female who was in the area of 208 and was walking her dogs and located a body.
The sheriff said it was a white male, heavily tattooed, about 6 feet tall, in his late 20s to early 30s, with an apparent gunshot wound to the head and no ID.
However, we were able to locate a key fob, keys to a particular type of vehicle.
To a Range Rover. This morning, they heard from Columbiana County authorities who had found a Range Rover, or what was left of one.
It had been torched.
Meanwhile, in Hancock County, in the area where the body was found,
So we have a witness that believed they saw a vehicle that was very similar to what we're looking for. That they took note that it was not driving erratically, but being a little bit suspicious.
the sheriff says they have a lot of pieces to the puzzle, but don't know yet how they fit together. In Hancock County, DK Wright, for 7 News, working for you.
The sheriff says the key piece that will allow the rest to fall into place will be the victim's identity. Anyone with information is urged to call the sheriff's department at 304-564-4100.
Describes him as a, let's see, Hancock County Sheriff Ralph Fletcher said the man had an apparent gunshot wound to the head. Let's see. Investigators found a key fob at the site which belongs to a Range Rover. They put out the word to the law enforcement community, and following morning they had heard from Columbia County authorities who found a Range Rover completely burned outside of Wellville. Oh, so they found a key fob next to the individual who was shot that went to a Range Rover. Then they found a burnt out Range Rover in another town. So yeah, that's got to be his. There's no doubt about it. Well, there isn't really a lot of geographical information on that one. So, all right. Well, everybody, the lines, you can call in if you'd like. about anything. There you go. Yeah, what's going on with the Range Rovers? Yeah, but where'd you get that one, Kubi? Just random? No, it was covered on a podcast, and then there's 70,000 video. Okay, let's see. So you didn't add that to it. You didn't say Arizona. Makes a difference. Well, there's the obituary. Let's see. Pauline Robin Burgett, 16, an 8th grade student. I feel like I've done this one. Hold on. 626. Isn't this the one she was found in her house? 16, 26. North 26th 26th place. Oh wait, probably got to put Arizona. God, this looks. I could swear I've done this one. Yeah, I would bet money that I've done this one. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let me check another place. Hold on. I don't know. Yeah, looks really familiar, like I've been there. How come you guys are typing in new ones when I'm still doing this one? You know, like, wait a little bit. Everyone's just going to lose those. Pauline Burgett. So this is for Pauline Robin Burgett, 16, an 8th grader student in the Creighton School District, will be at 2 p.m. today. Miss Burgett, 1626 North 26th Place, was found dead of stab wounds March 12th in her home. Yeah, that's right. Survivors include her mother, Carol Burgett, and 4 grandparents. See, I think it was one of those cases where she was assaulted, but she had had like a boyfriend, and things got kind of complicated on that. But I remember thinking at the time that it should have been solved. I don't know why I can't find any folders or anything though. Detectives work into the night Monday following possible leads in the stabbing death of a 16-year-old girl. The body of Pauline Robin Burgett was found by her mother, Carol Burgett, 37, on the floor of a bedroom in their apartment at 1626 North 26th Place. Detectives Harry Jennings and Joe North said an autopsy indicated the girl had been stabbed many times and had been struck by a blunt object. There was no sign of forced entry in the apartment. Yeah, I know, I've done this one. Investigators said Mrs. Burgett told them she had gone visiting Friday, but had made arrangements for her daughter to stay with her friends. The girl never appeared at the friend's home. The girl was in the 8th grade at Cretan School. It's kind of old to be in 8th grade, I think. Yeah. Isn't 16, like you're supposed to be 14 in 8th grade. Because you'd be 20 when you're, or 19 or late 19, 20 when you're a senior. The girl was in 8th grade at Cretan School. She had been dead for some time. Hey, thanks, Lee D. When her body was found, and she may have been killed on Saturday, investigators noted. So this one's clipped. Who did it? Not me. It's bizarre. I know I've done this one. So what was her name? Burgett? Wow. Might have just been one of those nights where we did the freewheeling like we're doing right now, really. Let's see, 1979. Okay, 1980 to 2000. Oh. See, that's one of those cases, probably lower, status girl, and they just, forget it. They're not going to cover it. So this is 2014. So they mentioned it in an article, cold case. She was alive when her mother and younger brother went out of town for a weekend in March 1978. So somebody knew she was going to be home alone. The next time they saw her, she had been stabbed to death in her bedroom. Police said Burgett stopped by a friend's house on Saturday, March 11th, and mentioned to the friend that she was planning to have her boyfriend over for dinner that night because she had the place to herself. Her friend told police Burgett left for home at about 8 p.m. Police interviews with possible suspects proved fruitless, as has later DNA and fingerprint testing of evidence from the scene. Well, it's about time you guys do the genealogy, okay? Because if you have DNA, then go test it and see who it belongs to. Now, it's weird because if the boyfriend was over there and she was over there alone, I don't think he would have had to murder her to, like they were probably going to be sexually active, you would think, right? So it just seems, see, that might be what complicates the whole thing. Because if it wasn't him, the boyfriend, and his semen is found at the scene, that could mean that, okay, he was there, sure, but it's his girlfriend, right? But then maybe somebody came later that happened to know about that. I don't know. She's 16 years old. I don't think there was ice cream when the mom and the family's out of town, okay? I know you're being sarcastic, but I'm just telling you. Let's see what this one. This is another one from 2004. It's just a quick little thing, though. It doesn't say anything. It just says, Pauline Robin Burgett, 16, was going to spend the evening with a neighbor. But see, a minute ago, you just said the boyfriend was coming home over in a later article. So this is totally worthless at that point. So that's it. Nothing else in there. Yeah, so maybe there's just on my Facebook page. Just send me an email. I don't Facebook. What do you mean? In my chat or like Ray Hughes Investigates? Which one? I said two things. Oh, in Messenger. Okay, that works. Are you ordering me to pick a different one? Dadio, Caspian Horses Rock? Pick a different one, damn it. Oh, that means you want me to pick yours. The quadruple murder from Maverick County, 1891. That's okay. How about one that's in this, within a century of now? No, I'm not doing Boy in the Box. That's one of the classic ones that everybody covers all the time. Where did Sandy Shawnee one? Where's that from? I don't see it. Okay, what's the other one? Kimberly. Hey, listen, if you guys are going to put a name in there, put the year and the place, okay? It doesn't do any good to just say, hey, Jim Johnson. Hey, all right, Jim Johnson. There's like 1,000 of them. You know, put Jim Johnson, 1982, Walnut Creek, California, you know, whatever. You know, where the Little House on the Prairie was. There you go. See how much better that is? So that one probably already now. Huh. So you said it was in Alabama. That one's in Missouri, so that's probably her. Okay, forget Alabama. Forget 1997. Well, that was 43. Forget that one. That one's 83. What is this one about? Somebody else named Sandy Shawnee in the newspaper? Yeah, that one wasn't in there. Okay, what was the other one? Oh, wait. Sandy Ray from... Wait. You said Sandy Ray. Oh, Sandy Ray. Okay. That was like really... You put Sandy Ray Shawnee, Oklahoma. Okay? But now you're saying, no, it's it's Sandy Ray in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Well, that matters where you put the commas, okay? Whew. Wow. Ah, hell, I can't find that one. Forget it. I'm moving on to a different one. Forget it. Okay, so is it Kimberly? That thing's bouncing around on me. You guys are nuts, okay? Just type it in correctly the first time. Now I can't find it. Everybody kept flying by. Thanks, Jennifer Rochelle. She vanished last August after stopping off at her father's home in Opp. She had been at a softball game with her friends. Her divorced parents, Kenneth and Sue Raymer, watched as the FBI divers worked in the 35... When did this start, though? Was it earlier in the year? Let's see. May 22nd. May 19th. On Kimberly Raymer's 18th birthday, Monday, investigators began searching for her body in a 35-foot water-filled basin. FBI Special Agents Bill Imfeld said, "We have no guarantees that the search at Leona, about 10 miles from the Alabama state line and 30 miles from her Opp home, will yield Raymer's body. The FBI is offering $20,000. She was scheduled to graduate from Opp High School on May 28. Imfeld said about 20 officials began to search Monday morning. So that was just, let's see, Monday morning. Among the investigators were 8 divers from New York, some of whom searched for victims after a TWA jetliner exploded. 2 dogs trained to locate bodies were brought in from Slidell, Louisiana. A thorough search of the body of water, about 35 feet deep and 75 feet across, should take about 3 days, Imfeld said. He said that investigators were on the watch for snakes and alligators. Raymer disappeared from her parents' Opp home on the morning of August 15, 1997. Authorities have followed leads as far as the Washington, D.C. Investigators were drawn to Leona by 2 independent leads suggesting that Raymer's body was in the basin. News of a possible breakthrough prompted apprehension at Opp High School. So this is August 15, 1997. So 1997 doesn't even show up anything. Weird. Okay, so this is probably going to be a little breakdown of it. I wonder why she was such a big deal. I mean, why did she get $20,000 FBI reward so quickly, but a lot of other cases get like a $500? In the late summer of 1997, 4 days, this is the 10-year anniversary. 4 days before Kimberly Lauren Raymer, a dark-eyed teenager with the long brown hair, was to start her senior year at Opp High School, she vanished. 10 years later, her disappearance from her father's home in Opp on August 15, 1997, remains a mystery. The last time anyone saw Kim Raymer was about 10 p.m. on that Friday, leaving her boyfriend's... I wonder if I typed in Kim. So last time anybody saw her was that Friday, leaving her boyfriend's residence to return home, which was about 5 minutes away. 2 days later, on August 17th, her parents reported her missing. Reports at the time said she left her personal belongings behind at the home, including her eyeglasses, her contacts, jewelry, and money. Well, what home are you talking about? What home did she leave this stuff behind at? Her own home? Or the boyfriend's home? Because she was just at the boyfriend's house. Why would she not have her contacts and all that with her? Including her eyeglasses, her contacts, jewelry, and money. From the beginning, the authorities and her family suspected foul play. She would have left a note for me, Kenneth Raymer said, in an interview following her disappearance. This is in Alabama, right? So, Kenneth Raymer, he's probably like, they have him down at 72 years old, and apparently lived right here in that house. Apparently. There's a Kenneth Raymer that once lived there. Or actually, let me go back. Hold on a second. Maybe even still lives there. Well, there's another house too. It could be this one. So it's either that one. Ah, shit. Either there or, which isn't really that far away, this one. That was 1981 in that house. And the other one, well, the other one's since 1993, so the other one's going to be the right one. Yeah, so it's definitely this one. I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, I think it's this one right here. For sure. Because he's lived in this one since 1993. Raymer said in an interview following her disappearance, I was always reminding her to leave me a note. I've even brought home a big stack of notepaper not long before this happened. Despite many pleas from her parents and offers of rewards from both the FBI and the governor of Alabama, the case is still unsolved. The FBI still considers it open, said Mike McDonald. So why is the FBI all over this one? Do they think she was abducted by, like, traffickers or what? But there is nothing new that I'm aware of that is substantial. In December of 1997, the Raymers held an emotional press conference and begged for the public's help in locating their child. Sue Raymer told reporters that she spent her weekend searching for her child. Both parents believe someone had information that could help them. Somebody knows something. His wife echoed his thoughts and begged for information. They may not think it's something important, or they might be afraid, she said. Please give us information if you have it. Over the years, there were tips and leads and searches. but nothing to bring any closure. 9 months after Raymer's disappearance, investigators searched a rural lake in Walton County, Florida, acting on tips that her body was there. The search lasted 3 days and turned up no clues. 2001, a nonprofit group from Texas, I bet you that was Texas EquiSearch, searched Baptism Hole with cadaver dogs and got several hits. They dug up an engine block with a rope tied to it, but had to leave the site before they could excavate it completely. The next day, the FBI brought its own dogs, which gave no indication of smelling human remains, and no more searches were conducted in that area. Again, in 2006, investigators searched a sinkhole near Ponce de Leon, Florida, but Raymer's remains after receiving an anonymous tip, but that search also turned up no evidence. So, nothing. Yeah, well, they're just digging around, but they're not getting any, they haven't found her, so that sucks. Yes, this is December 1997. So let's read this part where it describes. Miss Raymer was last seen on Saturday, August 16th, leaving her boyfriend's house in her car about 11:45 p.m., headed for her father's house where she lived. We believe she drove back home, said Ray Ziccarelli, special agent. Is this her biological father? Headed for her father's house where she lived. We believe she drove back home, said Ray Ziccarelli, special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Because it's interesting that there was like contact lenses, and so she must have made it home from the boyfriend's house. That's why it seemed weird when you say that, she left all those things at home just after leaving the boyfriend's house. So they believe that she did make it home, so they must have had some sort of evidence of that. Investigators with the Federal Bureau of Investigation believe she disappeared sometime between midnight and 5 a.m., leaving behind her car, her keys, clothes, money, and her contact lenses, which family members say she couldn't see without. So she was abducted from her bedroom, apparently. Or maybe she was still awake downstairs and the dad was asleep or something. I don't know. Kenneth Raymer said he wasn't worried when he saw his daughter wasn't home the next morning, thinking at first she might have spent the night at her mother's house. He said he noticed his daughter's bed was a bit more rumpled than usual, but there were no conclusive signs of a struggle and no signs of forced entry into the house. Late Saturday, we're beginning to get a little bit worried, Raymer said, but Sunday afternoon, for sure, we knew something had happened. Raymer insists his daughter wouldn't have run away, saying that despite her parents' divorce, she was happy and was looking forward to attending college in Mobile. All we want to know is some news of her, whether it's good or bad, Raymer said. It's never off your mind. OP is keeping Miss Raymer in mind, too, and yellow ribbons flutter in the wind on the doors of downtown businesses and on car antennas. For the first 2 weeks, a lot of the senior girls were numb, said Principal Walter Pyron. It wasn't the normal excitement about coming back to school. Wow. Did everybody leave because there's only one person typing? I mean, that's crazy. What do you mean there was several calls to Florida? By her? She made a bunch of calls? Yeah. All right. I know, but she made it. She made the call, right? To Florida. Were the calls made that night? Forget it. It takes too much time for the typing back and forth. Plus, it's just you saying it. Never mind. I'm going to move on to something else. Well, that's a crazy one. I guess they're still looking for her. What do you mean? Who's brother-in-law? You just said, is the dad not her biological father? I have no idea what you're saying. Yeah, well, this is the house he's lived in since 1993, so it's got to be the house, right? See, you just typed in, there were several calls to Florida, but you didn't say anything about who made the calls, who did anything. I don't know how that can help. It's just... No to somebody, yeah, jeez. Well, you just said brother-in-law a second ago. No, you just type in full sentences, then I would understand. That's all I'm saying. Because you said up there that there's just a lot of calls made to Florida. Well, with no reference to anybody or who did it or... Right, but above you said sister-in-law. Okay, so the sister's boyfriend, he called Florida from that very same house, right? See, that's the house it says he lives in now, and then there's this one from 1980 something. So that looks even more like a manufactured home right there. Oh, it was a Dateline story? Okay. I've quit trying to understand you, Cristola. You keep just typing in stuff with very vague references every single time you type. I'd rather have you type in a full paragraph of information one time that had a lot of clear information to look at. Okay, because I can't do it the way you're doing it. Yeah, Dateline, Jesus. No, I'm not. I don't want phone calls. I'm about ready to get off, anyways. We're just getting so far behind for the end of the month. Let's see. I don't know. Girl talk. Yeah. So I'd rather just have a long, drawn-out paragraph. What time did I come on, by the way? I'm not going to go to jail. I don't want it to be like... It used to be just different. What do you mean you can't? You type like 20 comments in a row that you could have all put in the same one. No, I think I came on at 8, yeah. I was just thinking. So it's already been 2.5 hours. Okay. Yeah, Lee D tried to send me to jail because I was so mean. Good night, JLC. Hey, Jay, thanks. There you go. Kind of kicked us into almost a normal night. Okay, maybe if I flip it over to the next... We'll hear it. Let's see if we can get it. Maybe it'll wake me up. Ah! Look at that. Perfect timing. JK! What's on your mind? Oh, all kinds of
What's on your mind, brother?
All kinds of stuff. Now you can comment? What do you mean? Yeah, I don't really know what's on my mind. But if you could read my mind. If you could read my... No, I haven't watched the zombie movie. I don't have time during the day to do anything. So, but tonight I'm going to keep watching the Challenger one. That seemed pretty good. I like it. Thanks, Dadio Caspian Horses
Donation
Rock.
wave on behalf of Kit Kat.
Oh, on the behalf of Kit Kat. All right. That's been a lot of nights lately. Maybe I'll watch one episode of that again and then try to kick in the zombie show. But you gotta watch season 1 of Walking Dead. It's a little bit less like the later ones. There's only 6 episodes, but you know your buddy's in there, and I think you should watch that one. Thanks, Lee D. I know you don't want to, but just do it anyways. You know, sometimes people don't want to, but sometimes you don't want to do something, but just do it. It was probably one of the best shows ever made. The Walking Dead, those first years. So if you just watch the first, watch like the first 2 episodes. I know, the thing is, I remember people said, oh, watch Walking Dead, and I went, are you kidding me? Freaking zombies? Really? But it's really not like that at all.
Kit Kat heart.
Thanks, Sarah M. Well, she was here early, but I think she took off. Kit Kat. What were you saying? Did you write a paragraph? Still don't see it. Oh, it's okay. I don't really, I'll probably be doing a different case tomorrow. But maybe, yeah, people are really into it.
Meow meow fire shrimp.
Fire shrimp? What does that mean? It's about the start of it? What does that mean? Man, I gotta learn girl code, man. It's about the start of it. fire shrimp. Yeah, so I'll expect a full report, Jenny Penny, of your experience watching the first 2 episodes of The Walking Dead. It'll be great. Well, that's why I'm checking out your shows, because you're going to check out those. So do you apparently what? Oh, oh. You did. You already signed the contract when you told me to watch those shows. I am the boss of you. That's right. I am the boss of you. Yes, you did. Ask Jeannie. She'll let you know. No. Can't do it. Yeah, well, we're not really talking about anything right now. I guess I could go back over the fauna one really quick, though, just because if you came in late. Alright, so I think it was around June 28th or something. A woman named Fauna Frey, 45-year-old, who lives in, or at the time, what the hell is the name of that town? And hold on, let me get the got the name of this little town here. But she lives with her brother and her dad in this town. Let me put the, well, I do have places marked. It doesn't say though. Oh, Dexter right there. So she lived in this town here, and then her brother died on June 19th, and then she said she was going to go to the dump. You know, she's talking to her dad, said she was going to go dump some stuff at the dump, but then she ends up driving, and they think maybe she dumped some stuff off at the dump. Then she went driving all the way down into kind of more into like southern Oregon, and then makes it down into Grants Pass. Checks into a Super 8 here. Calls her dad up on the phone. He talks to her for a while. She mentioned she picked up a hitchhiker. And, you know, they had a conversation. He said, hey, why don't you stay in a cabin? Oh, you're not looking at the screen. Or I'll get it back there. So she's in Grants Pass. And her dad said, why don't you stay at a cabin? So this was on the 28th she was staying there. And then apparently she went shopping at Fred Meyer's and a Big Five, bought some items, and then actually did stay overnight at the Super 8, and then got up in the morning at 8:30 or 9, left the place. Then the new news is that she got up at 8:30 or 9. But then at 11:45, she was over here at Umpqua Bank withdrawing cash, a couple $100 at 11:45. And then apparently at 3:35, she made reservations to We Ask You Inn. And then just 4 minutes later, apparently she's buying some food at Gooseberries right here at 3:39, and it sounded like she was supposed to go back to this hotel We Ask You because she rented a room. Well, it turns out that she never went to the hotel there, the We Ask You Inn, after 3:39, and her whereabouts after 3:39 are unknown, and it isn't even known for sure if at 3:39 she's the person that purchased something with a debit card at Gooseberries. So there you go. Well, hey, Crystal, why don't you send me an email with a write-up? Can you do that? grayhughes2@gmail.com. Then I can take a look at it. Because it was hard following all the different comments. All right. So, yeah, go ahead and send it to me. Oh, and then did you guys see that idiot comment? You know when it says tips in here? That just means like a tip on doing a case. Okay? Everybody knows that. But this clown typed in the comments, "How dare you tell people to call you up for a tip? People should call tips into the police." No, I can't, Jenny Penny. But maybe that's some negotiating stuff for you to watch the damn show, okay? You know, and you'll have to do a full report on 2 episodes of The Walking Dead, and then I might share. It'll be great. I'm just kidding. Yeah, can you believe that somebody would say that? They just kept going and going and going and going like it's just a total idiot. I mean, it's weird. Like, people's brains don't work correctly a lot of times. Yep. That's a good tip there, Alifair. I think I'll skip out on that too. Yeah, that's just for me doing the show every night, Jenny Penny. You know, supporting the channel and donations at the end of the month. Oh, and thank you to Linda Moldenhau on the PayPal there. Thank you. Hold on a second. Hey, look, we can watch. How old is this thing? Oh, I think I have seen this before, but this is on Twitter. I've seen this, I think, but this is pretty good.
So that there's no misunderstanding today, this is a peaceful protest. This is a riot. We can tell the difference.
He's the best, man.
The governor
Who's better
can
than
tell
him?
the difference. Our law enforcement officers can tell the difference.
Probably.
In the event you didn't get that, let me show
Probably,
you
Jay.
something.
Probably.
This is a peaceful protest. This is looting. If you loot,
This guy's
the next thing you can try to steal is something off of your food tray at the county jail, because you're going to jail. That's a guarantee. And we're going to enjoy taking you down there.
See, he's just
Some
so
people are slow
clear.
learners.
You know, it's not like you're never confused when you hear this guy.
This is peaceful protest. This is violence. It's not acceptable. I truly believe in our God-given right and our constitutional right
He's the
to
best.
speak openly and freely, to address our government. That's important. We listen every day. But I've also watched across this country when law enforcement officers who put their life on the line were told to stand down.
Oh man, I'd like to hear the rest of that one. Shoot, that's too bad. VP sent me that. I don't think I ever heard. I didn't hear back from her yet. I'll send something. Wait, what was her name? It was what was the name of her channel again? Like Left Undone or something like that? Or is that right? Yeah, Left Undone, I think. Yeah, I got it. You don't have to keep typing it in. I've already figured it out. Yeah, you knew Zozo would type it in really quick. That's kind of her. I'm just reading some comments here. Yeah. So here's my new visor. Do you guys see that? The freak with the heart visor right there. Yeah. No more Under Armour hats. Yeah. So what kind of violence do you guys think there's going to be if they when the Supreme Court nomination is chosen? Well, here's the thing. Strategically, from the Republican side, I think that you have to do the nomination before the actual election on November 3rd, because it would look shitty if, like, you actually lost the election and then went, okay, hurry up, you know. Okay, but right now he's just the president of the United States, and that's how you can do it. Now, everyone knows for sure. I mean, is there anybody out there that believes that if Hillary Clinton had won and Schumer had the control of the Senate, and in the exact same scenario, let's say Clarence Thomas passed away, that they wouldn't absolutely rush in a nomination? Does anybody believe that they have this higher moral compass where they wouldn't do it? Of course they would. I mean, the thing is it's just, this is the most political moment I've ever seen. This whole thing. Every single person is completely hypocritical in this entire thing. Even, like, Lindsey Graham is being a hypocrite. Everybody's being a hypocrite. However, there shouldn't have ever been hypocrisy on this, because it's really clear. Elections have consequences, right? Elections have consequences. So, when the Senate has control, that means those elections for those senators had consequences, meaning they didn't have to take up the vote for Merrick Garland, and they let it go to the election. And that's just the way it is. And that election came forth with Trump, and then he put in Gorsuch, I think was his name, and that's it. Then he had another nomination later. Kavanaugh absolutely got creamed. I mean, it was the most brutal, vicious, absolute bullshit hearing I've ever seen in my life. And thankfully he got in, because his life was destroyed had he not got in. So at least he got in there, and now there just happens to be another opening. Now, whose fault this really is Ginsburg's. You know, it's her fault in a way, right? Because she should have. They asked her to step down when she was 83 years old, or like 82. They said, hey, maybe you should step down so we can get another nomination when Obama's still president. And she didn't do it, right? She stayed in there, and now it allowed this scenario to happen. So there you go. That is reality, right? I mean, like, she could have made it so they could have got a really young person in there if she was so concerned at the end where she told her daughter, oh, just don't let this president replace me. I mean, what a joke. That's an embarrassing comment for anybody to make. Okay, it has nothing, it absolutely is unrelated to you at all. How about this, everybody? How about this? Every single Supreme Court justice for now on in the history of mankind should have a will that they type up. So, like, Scalia should have typed in, hey, just make sure that I'm not replaced by anybody other than another conservative like me. right? And then all of them can do the same thing. So whenever they're done, they can just, you have to pick what they want, right? It's all about what they want. It's just, it's ridiculous. God, give me a break, everybody. I mean, who cares what, I got to be honest with you. Does anybody really care who Ruth Bader Ginsburg wanted to replace her? It doesn't matter. That's not what her job is. She kicked ass for what she did when she was on the Supreme Court. She was really great for women's rights, did a lot of stuff, you know, just kicked ass. But it's over then. There isn't like, just don't let the guy. God, really? Nobody should do that, because that means then we have to listen to all of them now. And so that means anytime there's anybody that's close to death or whatever, and they say, hey, just don't let, we have to listen. You know, so even if you're a Democrat and you're the president and the Senate's controlled by you and a conservative dies, you have to listen to their wish. Okay? You can't do it the way you want to do it. You have to listen to them. Come on, everybody. It just doesn't work like that. Yeah, she became a judicial activist later, but she got a lot of great stuff done. Like, the totality of her career was good, right? I mean, you know, not a lot of stuff, you know, maybe I wouldn't be like, yay, you know, but all the women's rights stuff I agree with 100%. Okay? All of it. There's no way in hell that, I mean, the shitty, those are the shitty things that our country's had, like where women didn't even get to vote for all those years. Like, what in the hell was that? I mean, oh, only men, you know, the guys that go work hard, they're the only one that, I mean, give me a break. You know? I don't know how that shit ever came about or how it ever was, you know, just wild. Yeah, you should go watch Walking Dead. It's good stuff. I still haven't heard back from, I haven't heard back yet. Oh. Okay, what did I just say that wasn't accurate? Type it in. Everything that I just said, what wasn't accurate? Do you think we should care what a Supreme Court justice says on their deathbed about who should replace them? Nothing. Right. Because there was nothing I said that wasn't accurate. Okay? I do not think anybody should care at all about that. That's not their job at all. Their job is to be a judge. And what I think is weird, though, is how polarized the Supreme Court justices are. Do you think it's okay, though, after the election, if Trump nominates a conservative, making it, I think it'd be 6-3, but John Roberts is usually kind of in the middle there. You think it's okay then that the Democrats add 4 seats to the Supreme Court to then skew it back over? Don't you find that absolutely insane? Because that's what they're talking about. I hope you guys have seen that on the news. And I'm talking about the politicians. There's no gaslighting. God, you're going to actually use that term? Oh my God. What a psycho. I know. We already knew that, Dadio. We did the whole thing on the show. Were you not paying attention to the show? We did the whole thing. We know she went to Gooseberries. See, what's insane, though, is everything I just said was correct, Rebecca. Can you tell me something I said that wasn't correct? I just want to hear it. I want to see what you're saying. See, that's what I don't like, is when I say something, people go, oh, I just want to, I mean, it's almost like you just don't want to hear it. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. You know, your brain should work better than that. Like, just listen and go, well, geez, you know. Because what did I say that you didn't agree with? That you think that Supreme Court justices should get to control who they replaces them? No, that's not what we were talking about. The whole thing about gaslighting. I'm not gaslighting anybody. You know, and that's just such an overused, ridiculous term. You know, that's why I said that. Well, it's a conversation because I'm saying what I'm thinking, and then I see what you're saying. Right. So I'm going to wait now. You type in what I said that was inaccurate. I don't know. People use gaslighting all the time. I'm not even sure people know what it means. Yeah. Yeah, it's like this overused term. It's like these YouTubers use it all the time, like especially the drama community. Just tune into a drama community. I mean, what it is, you know, they make you believe that you didn't hear what you heard. You know. Why don't you just mime it? Ah. They need to replace if the Supreme Court justice before the election, and I think it does two things politically. It actually takes away some of the desire to vote from the Democrats, and it also means that you put forth a nominee when you weren't a lame duck president, like you already lost or something. Okay? Hopefully he wins, but it literally would fire up the Democrats dramatically, having an open Supreme Court seat. Now, if you fill it, you know, then there's a lot of depressed people out there, and they're not going to do it. Yeah. So that's how it works politically. And the reason we can have this conversation is because what I believe the Republicans should do is exactly what the Democrats would do in the same situation. Does everybody agree that they would do the exact same thing given the same situation? Would they wait for the election? No way. There's no chance. So that's why I can just talk about it rationally without having any of this. Right. It's weird how it's offensive to people. You know, it's like, no. So you know they would do the same thing. So once we get past that, then you think, well, okay, what the timing should be. You do not want to wait until after the election. Because if he loses, then it's like you can't do it. He's got to do it now because it's literally in the Constitution. It even would be after the election, but it would look really bad if he'd lost and did it. So I think you just do it now. You just quickly nominate somebody, probably in the next 3 or 4 days. Get the process going, and boom, that's it. No, that's not the same thing in 2016. I've explained it to you. 2016 was Obama was president, and that's when Scalia passed away, but he didn't control the Senate. Okay? If he controlled the Senate, he would have replaced Scalia with Merrick Garland. That's where the difference is. No, I explained it absolutely correctly. You just didn't hear it right. So now you're gaslighting. Yeah. I explained it absolutely perfectly, but you don't like it when somebody actually has the reality and the truth. Okay? The Senate didn't allow it to happen and said, well, let's just wait for the election. They would have done it had they controlled the Senate. And everybody knows that. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, he did try. In 2016, after Scalia died, he put forth a candidate in Merrick Garland. The Senate, though, was controlled by Republicans, and they're the ones that do the hearings and pick the Supreme Court nominee. And they chose not to bring it forward. And that's their right to do that. Okay? And that's why elections have consequences, everybody. And that term was invented by Obama, who wouldn't listen to a damn thing Republicans had to say. And he turned to McCain right after the election and said, hey, McCain, listen. At some point, elections have consequences. Okay? Well, those terms always come back to bite you in the ass at some point. Because it's true, too. He was right when he said it. It was just he was being an ass when he said it. I'm just trying to, I'm literally telling you guys the truth right here. So it wasn't the same thing in 2016. It's not even close, okay? If it was the same in 2016, that means the Senate would have been controlled by the Democrats. That would have made it the same. So when people tell you that, they're not being accurate when they say it. Well, the thing is, the Biden that existed like 4 or 5, like 8 years ago, he was kind of more of a centrist type person. But I don't know, it's kind of a weird situation going on now, but I don't really know for sure what, who's running the show there. Oh, God. Jenny Penny, she gets so upset. And I'm just telling you the truth. There's nothing I said that wasn't accurate. I see the hypocrisy on all sides. The thing is, McConnell, he mentioned that it was controlled by the Senate back then, but they try to spin it as if he said something differently. But people like Lindsey Graham said, you can even use this against me. I would not do an election. But then he said, well, the way they treated Kavanaugh, he changed his mind. No, Rebecca. She said that I was gaslighting. You forgot that part. She knows I was kidding when I said that. The whole gaslighting thing? Come on. We were talking after that. Hey, Rebecca, why do you keep bringing it up over and over again? You seem like you're trying to create issues when they don't even exist, Yeah, gaslighting is when you say something and then somebody observes it, but then later you said, no, you didn't actually hear that. At the what? Yeah. So I was just responding to the being said that I was gaslighting. No, Rebecca, that's not what you're doing. You keep talking about it over and over again. That has nothing to do with what she didn't like that I was being able to argue this way. She wanted to be able to come back and say something. That's why she left. Yeah. Let's see, this is what I'm saying. That's why whenever you talk about politics, one side always gets so angry instead of just going, Yeah, that's true. You know, that is true. Yep. We would do the same thing if we were in the same position. 2016 was not the same position. You know, in 2012, they could have done anything they wanted because they had the House and the Senate, the Democrats. But everything switched after that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to tell you, you know, just the political situation. Okay, let me ask you this. If you were a Democrat and the whole scenario was reversed, you would definitely put somebody forward, but would you put the person forward before the election or after, knowing that there's a chance you could lose, and then you'd have to nominate the person during your lame duck presidency, knowing that you actually lost? So which one would you do it being a Democrat? So for all the Democrats out there, which one would you pick? You have a possum there? Man, you know what? We used to have possums here in Oregon, but I haven't seen one in, like, forever. You know? Like, they just disappeared one day. There's raccoons here and there, but there's no more possums. And I remember one day seeing one walking in the middle of the day down a street with this really ratty-looking tail. I mean, it looked like it was really sickly. I mean, not that they ever don't look kind of sickly, but I just call them possums. I don't give a shit about the O. I think it's a silent O. Nobody goes, oh, look at the opossum. Yeah, they used to be dead ones all the time. Like they get run over by cars, but I haven't seen one in years. Anyways, I just want people to think critically, and we can all do the, this is what sucks right now. We're in a really shitty place politically in our country, right? Does anybody not feel it? It's nowhere near how it was like in 1975 or, where everybody kind of worked together. There was slight differences here and there. Now it's just everybody's completely opposite of everybody. All right, J. Case. Yeah, it is. It's just god awful. I mean, because let's say they, Trump does replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and then there's an election and he wins. Do you think there'll be any rest? Like peaceful times? Just looking at what's going on just during this last, BLM stuff? Scary, man. Really scary. Yeah, the whole cancel culture. Pretty scary. Yeah. Well, I mean, you just go back and look at it. People used to go out and hang out together. They might not agree with everything, but they like to work with each other. They were friends. I think there's very few friends now in Congress on the opposite sides. I mean, that AOC, or whatever the hell her name is, she's destroyed everything, man. The words she uses and everything really create a lot of hate. Yeah, she's ridiculous. Really, really bad person to have in there. And even if you're on the left, you should recognize some of the hateful stuff that she's actually saying. how people should just be violent. Yeah. She is an idiot. I mean, I think she literally is an idiot. Like, cuckoo. But people love her, man. So, yeah, it's crazy. All the young people think she's just wonderful. Yep. That was a good speech that one guy gave at the convention, who came from a socialist country, and he sees the same arguments being made at this point. Yeah, it's wild. I don't understand. That's why we need Mike Rowe to run for president, everybody. I'd vote for him tomorrow. Okay? Just to have somebody that's cool, right in the middle, and likable by everybody. Well, the problem is the media, if Mike Rowe wasn't quite on their side, they would turn him into Satan. The way they would spin everything that he said. So I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Right. It's really bizarre. The media is the scariest part to me in this whole thing. How they absolutely manipulated everybody's thoughts. So somebody that you might just kind of, I don't really like him, that you actually end up hating him because of the way they spin every damn thing that he says. And I see it every single day. So, anyways. All right. Well, that's another end of the show. 3 hours and 19 minutes. Yeah. But I appreciate everybody coming on. Gotta find the control panel here again. I lost it. Yeah, I just got an email back. So we're going to talk tomorrow about it. So thank you to Kit Kat, Kubi, Alley Cake, Zozo, Jana Bell, Lee D, Fiber Sleuth, Crystal Ann, Jen H, Liz Parsons, Linda Howell on PayPal, Gloria Batari, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Julie W, Sarah M, Lee D, Patricia M, Susanna, Mac, Yola, Padre, Jean Fish, Julie W, Lee D, Jennifer Rochelle, Jay Case with the cat eye donation, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Lee D again, Sarah M, and Raven 187. But anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I wasn't even planning on talking about anything political tonight, but looked like people wanted me to, so just brought it up. Just telling you what I'm seeing. Hope it's not too offensive to everybody. No, I wasn't gaslighting anybody. I'm literally just saying what's the reality. All right. So thanks, everybody. I'm just going to do the wrap. I got to lay down for a little bit. Maybe have a fresca. Anyways, thank you guys all for showing up. Good to see you in here. Jay Case, the legend. The legendary Jay Case. Gray's lighter. Yep. All right. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. And I'll leave the chat going for a while if you guys want to chat away. And Rebecca N., good to see you in here tonight. Jenny Penny, wherever you are, good to have you in here. I know, I love Mike Rowe, just his demeanor. He's authoritative, but really likable person, and clearly can explain things to you. That's what I like about it. Yeah, Sassmere. Hey, Sassmere. Love you, Sassmere. Oh, jet. Lori just fell down right there. All right, everybody. That's it. Thank you very much. And where is it? As I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Oh yeah, and wear your mask,
Time I have
and maintain your social distancing, and wash your hands as often as possible.
Crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a
Hey, good job, Mary Lou, good job.
Detector, gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and
Tiny like an old projector.
Crime sector
Is my nectar.
Professor Grillo's gonna give
wait.
another
You're a little bit off timing there. You're a little off timing. Okay, look at me. Okay?
I'm always gonna be a
Let me try it again, let me try it again. Interceptor. And I'm neater than a spectre with a vector.
Hey, not bad, not bad.
Just remember I've a temple fucking check ya.
I have no agenda.
I'm
no agenda.
And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Hey, all right, everybody.
Let's get right back to work.
Good job, Lori. Good dancing there. Good job.
Well, that's not really Lori. You understand that, right?
Oh, I thought it was a recording of Lori.
No, it's actually a 3D.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about? All right. Good night, John Boy.
What in the hell was that? Good night, Mary Lou.
Hey, that was almost sort of normal. I was kind of wondering what Mary Lou was doing there by holding that tone, but, you know. Anyways, I'm going to leave the chat up for you guys for a little bit. All right. So that's it, everybody. Till next time, be safe out there.